Welcome back, everybody, to Roshay Reviews. I got a special guest with me today, Justin Sky.
What's up, bro?
Wagwan.
My pleasure.
Welcome to the show. It's good to have you.
Thank you, sir.
We are talking Black Panther today. We're going to do a deep dive into everything Black Panther, everything Wakanda. It's going to be fun, man. I'm excited.
Me too, man. Me too.
So, I thought it was overall great movie.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
There were a couple things that kind of, I feel like, not cheapened it, but took away from it. You know what I mean? In certain things.
Uh-huh.
But man, overall, successful as fuck.
It's funny because I tried to view it. It was hard to, but I tried to view it just as a movie within the. Once I sat down, like we did all the hype thing. We went and dressed, and we went the whole group and squad and everything. It was fun, and it's good to celebrate that representation and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can get into that later, but. I tried to just view it. Once I sat down, I just tried to view it as the next movie in the Marvel universe because I've been keeping up, obviously.
Right. Me too.
But it was like, it was hard to. It was hard to because it was so like concentrated and so like in Wakanda. Like, you know what I mean? They had the one guy who worked for the government. Forget his name.
The dude, the Hobbit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
the Hobbit working. And so that kind of helped me kind of ground it in the MCU. You know what I mean?
Right. But because he was in a couple previous.
Yeah, he was
films.
in the previous. He was in
Civil War.
Civil War. He was in Civil War,
okay.
and I thought he was that little ending scene. I thought it was great
Ross.
too.
Ross.
Yeah, he was like
something Ross.
He was like agent. He's like, please make my day. Try something. Remember when he had what's his name locked up?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Who was he telling that to?
He was telling that to the guy from. Remember they crashed the whole city.
Right.
Wachovia.
Oh, okay. From the beginning of that movie.
Yeah.
That guy. Okay.
Yeah, it was the bad guy
The bad
basically
guy.
from Civil War.
Okay.
Who was holed up in the bunker.
Right.
And he had him like locked up, and he was like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "Okay, yeah." You remember that? I was like, "Okay, he's kind of cool." And then also, my main man Gollum, he did his thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he
was it Crawl or Claw?
Claw.
Okay, yeah, and
Claw.
that's played by
what is his name? Why is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Escaping me.
Everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
He's super famous for his.
He did Gollum and he did Caesar. Yeah.
Right, but I was so happy to see him in this film as a real
dude. And he did great.
Yeah,
he was very polarizing. Yeah. He was good.
For sure, yeah. Definitely not the main villain.
And I like his twist too.
Villain.
Yeah, he started off as the main villain.
Mm.
You know what I mean? He started off as the main villain, and then they was like, boom, hit you with that twist, and I was like, okay, this is tight.
Interesting.
Because I didn't expect that. You know what
I mean? I always felt like he was like a setup to the main villain.
Right.
I never really saw him as the main villain when I watched it. See, because it's going to be Michael B. Jordan.
Well, yeah, you do. Yeah, you know it's going to be Michael B. Jordan, but I thought they were like, is it promoting his Michael Jordan going to come at the end of the movie and then lead into the next one, and he's going to be like at full force in the next one, and then,
no doubt.
you know what I mean? Something like that.
It was definitely a well transition.
Yeah, it was very good
went
transition.
From one to the other. How he was Claw. I don't know his first name. He was the somewhat of the main problem of the movie. This is the guy we're going after.
Right.
I mean, and then it gets switched to Michael B. Jordan in that one scene where he shoots his girlfriend, which we can get into whenever.
Right.
Like I want to do like a dive into each character.
Do you want to go chronologically, or do you want to go by character?
We don't have to go. Yeah, we can just.
Okay.
We can skip all
Let's
over.
let me get my quips out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
I liked Michael B. Jordan as an actor. Loved him in Creed. Loved him in Fruitvale Station.
Yeah.
And I also liked him in the other movie with the Misfits. What was it called? Where they had superpowers. They found out they had powers and they were flying around.
That's right. He was in that.
Man, he was Chronicle.
Yeah.
Like that. And I'm kind of mad that they didn't make a second one because that was really good.
It was interesting.
He did really good in that one. But his acting.
Pull, man. I forgot he was in that.
Yeah. His acting in this one though, didn't really do it for me, man. Like he was there when he needed to be. And I was like, okay, this is cool. But everybody else was giving it like they were going
110.
110.
Yeah.
And I just really didn't believe him as a thug or as like a gang. So when it came time to do the thug parts, it just felt like a Tupac caricature.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Caricature.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Not the character.
It wasn't exactly Killmonger.
It wasn't
like
exactly
this character.
Like this character of like, yo, what's up? I came to take on the whole place. What's up, auntie?
Right.
Yeah, like
the Americanized black man.
Yeah, it was just super like as if somebody like if I went overseas and somebody was like, yo, I need to relate to Justin because he's an American black dude. This is how I'm gonna act. I'm gonna act like Killmonger. It's like, come on, man. Like that's not. it wasn't really too believable. But it didn't take me all the way out of the movie.
Right. No.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it was horrible, but it just was like, it just
wish it could have been a little
bit more subtle, treated a different way. Maybe he could have approached it, used maybe some different influences. I don't know. But because to me, villains obviously are important.
Absolutely.
But so that was my only thing with him was that and he took my haircut. So
I mean, I'll agree with you, man. 100% is. That's one of the things I definitely took away when I walked away from the movie. It was like, Michael B. Jordan, he did a good job.
Right,
he did a good job. There were scenes that I really liked him in.
Right.
The museum scene.
Like you would love that.
When he's like questioning them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where do you think you got your influences got these things from? That was good. I didn't have a problem with that, but it was kind of towards the end. We're getting a fatigue almost of his acting. I'm not trying to shit on the dude because he did his thing. I just think he needs to just like mess with Captain America's coach and acting teacher.
Right.
Because Chris Evans, like, totally two different characters for sure. It's
Absolutely.
way two different characters. But like that dude somehow brings a sense of like realism and like kind of like structure to the character.
To a character that
nobody gives a fuck about.
Yeah, nobody.
You know what I mean? But now I give a fuck because of Chris Evans. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because he plays him so well. Like he takes the shit serious and I don't know. It's just somewhat of a complex character the way he approaches it. So. I mean, and Michael B. Jordan will get there in time. He's a young kid, you know what I mean?
And also he's passionate, dude. So you can tell he works.
You can tell
hard.
He wants to be
great at acting. Some people just get in there like I'm an actor and I'm just kind of doing this, but you can tell he wants to be great at acting. Like some people just take on any script and just like put me in every action movie and just let me But you can tell he like so I believe he'll get there and hopefully. I kind of have a theory that he might come back in the next movie because they do have the heart shape flower, so that hopefully he comes back and his character's a little bit more rounded.
Right.
But I really enjoyed the scene though where he got killed, where he initially got stabbed, not where he died. I enjoyed that scene too. In the tunnel where he initially got stabbed and he was like, "Oh man, good, that was a good move" or something like that. He said,
"Good move, yeah."
Which really was tight because his whole character was like, I'm a fighter, I'm a killer.
Right.
So I can appreciate.
He almost should have saw that coming.
Right, and he didn't see it, and it's like, oh man, yeah, you got me. Right. And so it wasn't out of character for him to do that, and I thought that was a real smart move. I don't know if that was the writer's or his decision, but he delivered it well, and it was a really good, little subtlety, And then we can talk about the big main line at the end when he dies, and he's like, bury me, and that was.
So because I mean, let's talk about that. Do you think? I mean, well, first let's give the viewers a little context. We're talking about the last scene. It's pretty much one of the last scenes between Black Panther and Killmonger, and he's dying, and he tells him. I think they try to save him, or
he was like, "Yeah, we can save you. We can still heal you because they didn't have once you pull it out,
you're right.
He still had it in him,
right.
And so he's like, "Man, we can save you," because he kind of felt bad for him, which I thought was really
interesting.
There's so many ways to go because all the characters were so round and it was so tight.
Yeah.
But so we can save you, and then he was like, "Nah, so I can be a prisoner."
Yeah, exactly. So you can put me in jail, right?
Yeah, he's like, "Nah,"
because obviously I've killed some people out here. It's not
I tried to do a coup,
right? And I don't think. Yeah, see, some people walked away from that like, oh. Well, they wouldn't have put him in jail. It's like, he did.
You gotta get tried to take over the kingdom.
He did do some shit out here.
And he burned all bodies.
And they weren't just, people who didn't mean anything to anybody. They were kind of like crucial people.
Yeah, like when he killed Force, that killed me.
Right. God. You think they're just gonna let him slide and become part of the team? I don't really think so. So yeah. Go ahead and. He said, put my ashes over the ocean.
Yeah, he said, no, he said, burn me in the ocean next to my ancestors who jumped to, because they knew that it was better to die than be a slave.
Right.
Or something. I'm paraphrasing, but live in bondage.
Right. No doubt.
Which is a real, and, it's not to knock those, and I feel like everyone, it's kind of hard. And that's what's beautiful about Black Panther and about Black people is that we're so multifaceted. I feel like the people who stayed in bondage and were like, you know what, I'm going to try to figure out a way to get out of this or get through this or whatever, were just as strong as the people who jumped off the ship and were like, no, like this isn't for me.
Sure.
They were strong in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who jumped they're not cowards.
Mm-hmm.
They were just as strong as the people who stayed on and tried to fight and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
so there's different there's different avenues of strength. And I thought I'm glad that he said that. And
do you think some people felt like it was a jab at people who didn't jump from those votes?
Yeah, it kind of felt like it was kind of like this is
the
way.
People who took it. That
Yeah, because I paid attention to social media and to
Sure.
Mass media,
Okay.
and it was kind of like taken as like see, that's the way to do it. And I used to think like that kind of. I was like Malcolm or bust. You know what I mean? Marcus Garvey or bust, or you know what I mean? Like that. Like that's nothing, or nothing. But I've come to realize like it's hard to police how someone goes through trauma. Their reaction to trauma.
Everybody deals with
it in their different way.
Sure.
And it's not to say one way is better than the other, because honestly, we don't know the answers. We're just trying to survive out here. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
And we're trying to figure it out as we go along. So his way was to fight. You know what I mean? And if I can't fight, then you might as well kill me, because I'm not going to be in bondage.
Absolutely.
Which is cool. Well, somebody else would have been like, all right, yeah, fix me, lock me up, and then I'm going to try to figure out how to do it once I get,
Right. Oh, yeah.
So there's different ways to go, but I just really appreciate that scene because it brought up conversation like this, and it brought up the nuance.
Absolutely. I'm glad that they put it in there, and it held a lot of relevance to not only the movie, but
to real life.
Yeah.
Now, he delivered it. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. The way he delivered the line.
Yeah,
I just picture like Tupac walking onto the scene like, what is this, man? This ain't how you act this role. Right. You know what I mean? Like, let me imagine Tupac in there. I mean, that's crazy, but imagine Tupac in there. Or just, bring it, just give me a little bit of you know what it is? I just wanted a little bit of nuance to his role. I didn't want the straight Oakland, kid trying to, give me a little bit of nuance, because obviously there was pain there. His dad died.
Right.
And it's like, as black men, often you don't see our side that's like hurt. You see our anger and our vengeance.
Well, that's why. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that's why I love the scene where he goes back. Well, he goes to the astral plane.
Right.
He goes
back
to the house.
Yeah, and then he started having that motion. I love that part.
That was great for his character.
Yeah.
For that to happen.
I
know a lot of people that. Yeah, exactly, to make it more rounded. And I know a lot of people who were emotional during that scene.
Absolutely, yeah. It was very
so that was well done. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's parts of his acting that worked
great.
For me.
Yeah,
that worked for me,
exactly.
and I had no problems with. But then there's others I was just like, don't say that.
I love how they actually introduced Killmonger without telling us it was Killmonger. That was so dope. In the very beginning, they show the boy looking up at the spaceship. And I didn't even know that he was related to the dude in the house that got killed. I didn't know. I thought it was just some dudes who saw a spaceship. Like, wow, okay, cool. Like, yeah, they saw a spaceship. And then it turns out like he's the guy's son, and then he goes back up to the thing, and then he turns out to be Killmonger. Like, I think that was super well done in the beginning.
Yeah.
And like the Forrest Whitaker's character when he was younger, like that was so tight. I loved that.
Yeah. I mean, I saw it twice, and I think the second time I noticed that when he was looking up, Killmonger as a kid, when he looked up and the spaceship takes off, and then he goes running into the house, or through the gate. So it's kind of like that. That
kind of lets you know that he had some type of connection
to.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, or he felt some type of way about it, because it was just over the whole pretty much neighborhood.
Yeah, and everybody else was just looking, and he was the one who.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit cool that I didn't really notice the first time.
Right.
So, and there's just tons of little tiny scenes like this that are filled with symbolism. You know what I mean? That I'm so glad were put in there, and certain lines that were said that I'm really glad that were put in there.
What do you think about the theory that like Killmonger was right?
Right. The hashtag Killmonger was right. Well, Killmonger was. I feel like. It's not like it was even right or wrong. Mm-hmm. He was just another, not example, but another type of visionary.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He offers another. It's like how they kind of compare to like MLK and Malcolm X type of thing. Malcolm X was right, and I'm sure in some ways he might have been wrong. Same with MLK. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
So that's how I feel about that. I don't, I feel like that's people are saying when people say Killmonger was right, that essentially means that everything that he was saying in this movie, we kind of should have went with. And
right.
Kind of like he should have been the king.
Right.
And I don't really know if that.
Yeah. I don't really buy that.
You're right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I do understand what they're trying to say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I loved his character, because it was like the Magneto type of character, which was based on Malcolm X.
Right.
Which is like, there's this duality, like, yeah, man, they hella have a point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they really, really do. And they might go about it a little bit harsh sometimes.
Right.
But sometimes harshness is needed, but sometimes it's not. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, I think he was right. He was absolutely 100% right.
Yeah.
And it's just like why people don't want to agree with that is because he was such like this mass murderer type of dude, or not mass murderer, but he was. Let's get into it. He was an actual soldier trained by the U.S. military, was he not? So there goes all your killing. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was deep as well. You know what I mean? He there's layers to his character. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I mean, what do you think about the whole Killmonger was right?
I agree with you. I like that, like, his ideals in theory were right, but his in practice, I could, like, if you have a point, then roll up to Wakanda, show your tat.
Right.
I'm here. This is not, and I have these ideas. Now, I don't necessarily, you don't have to make me king, but put me a part of your court so I can advise, because I have some really big ideas on what I want to change. Now, if that doesn't work and you really, really feel strong, and like you literally can't live without trying to like overthrow and take, then maybe. But I just like going straight for the jugular. Well, a lot of times,
I think a lot of that it was stemmed from his father being killed by.
Right. So you want to see exactly. So he let that pain, instead of dealing with it in a different way, he kind of let it kind of guide him instead of letting his ideals guide him. And see, that's the difference. Letting his pain guide him rather than ideals. And I think the two got convoluted for him, which is why I didn't understand why he would want to sell the vibranium and weapons and stuff to other people in the world. Like if you want Wakanda to be huge, then why not keep the weapons for Wakanda and just roll up and just start taking over? Like, why give the weapons to countries like America or other powers in the world to where they could eventually use it against you or use it against your other African people and other nations in Africa?
Right.
So that part I didn't really understand.
Are you talking about the post-credit scene? Where they're at the UN and they're talking about shit?
No. I'm talking about Killmonger's idea when he was trying to send out the ships to just go sell all their weapons.
Oh, that's
to
right.
Other
At the very
countries.
end. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. It's, at the end, like when everybody's fighting and everything.
Right.
And that's why when the white dude's trying to shoot down the ships.
Right.
It's like, why are you doing that? Why wouldn't you just keep, along with your ideal of making Wakanda,
Well, his thing was there are oppressed people across the globe.
Right. So
that's who I'm trying to reach out to and give him this vibranium to help.
So he wasn't. Wait, because I took it as he was trying to sell and give the weapons to other powers in the world so they can use it against each other. And then Wakanda would rise from the ashes. Of their destruction. Their
defeat. Interesting. I didn't take it like that. I thought he was trying to liberate oppressed people across the globe by bringing them by sending out these
weapons and vibranium.
So they could raise up against their oppressors.
Right.
But maybe so in that sense, yes, Killmonger was right.
Right.
But I guess the whole Black Panther ideal is that once these weapons once we share everything,
we have no control.
It's a wrap for us.
And
we're gonna be just like everywhere else. It's not gonna be as special.
Right.
And that's where I feel that. Like I feel why they didn't want to be. Almost at the end of the movie when they're at the UN, the first post-credit scene, when they're like sharing all the information, I'm just like, no, I don't like that.
Relax, because now they're gonna come to looking for you. And
I mean,
and it's like, but
I don't know how that's gonna be treated.
Right.
Obviously, in Infinity War, I'm pretty sure we're gonna go back to Wakanda.
They got you. Yeah, because you see that scene in the trailer.
Yeah. Which I'm not really a huge fan of. I'm a fan of going back to Wakanda for sure in Infinity War, but I'm not a fan of like seeing groups of people running towards each other like some Lord of the Rings type of shit. I'm not trying to see that, but I'm still excited for it, of course, and to see how they treat this whole Wakanda thing and letting the technology and sharing all the other
because
stuff with the world. How's that going to play?
Like, I understand what T'Challa was trying to do at the end, and he had kind of changed his kind of viewpoint once he found out what happened and everything. Mm-hmm. And he's like, we're gonna share. But when Killmonger was sending it out, even if he was just sending it out to other African nations or other people who are oppressed, other black people all around the world who are oppressed, mm-hmm. once you send it to them, you know who's gonna get a hold of it is the other, you know what I mean? The governments of the people who they're trying to. So it's like, man, like you're. And I think we do that a lot of times in real life. It's a huge risk. Yeah. We do that a lot of times in our lives. It's like, man, we need, I need to come up and be an entrepreneur and be in charge of my own self, so I'm going to sell drugs. Like, okay, okay, all right. So, okay, all right. But it also, you're forgetting the residual effects of what that means to your community. Like, right. You know what I mean? Everybody's not trained and everybody doesn't have like say, for example, Wakandan kind of outlook on order and decency and the way you go about things. Somebody's just going to grab their weapon and be like, okay, this is mine, me and mine's. You know what I mean? Right. And that's where I felt like Killmonger was coming from. It was about him and his ideals, not necessarily. He was using the guise of helping other people, but it was really based on his trauma. You know what I mean? Would you have felt like that if your dad didn't get killed? Who knows? I don't know. Right. But either way, there are, I do like that aspect, and I do like the T'Challa coming around. Like, we do need to help our people around.
Right. Well, I think it was somewhat of, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of symbolism and things that they said that kind of relate to now. It's like stopping the status quo. Like the status quo is not working anymore. We have to change it.
Right.
So.
And that's having a metaphor too.
Yeah, and it's
a metaphor for sure.
Let's take a trip away from Killmonger. I think we broke him down a bit. Mm-hmm. Let's go just like to Black Panther real quick and just chop up like how do you feel he did? I mean, everybody in this movie was either British or American, I believe, and everybody had like the little accents on out there. Right. You know what I mean, little African accents. So like, and I feel for the most part, everybody pulled it off well.
Of the Black Panther.
Forrest Whitaker had me rolling out there. We'll be stripped.
Away. I feel like he was kind of like still in his Rogue One, right?
The walk and everything. Yeah. It's like, man, did you guys film like right after? Like, man, for sure. He was cool.
But he was, I liked him. T'Challa. Okay, so T'Challa, I liked him. His accent kind of got a little bit. A little bit too right here for me. But
stiff jaw.
Yeah, a little stiff jaw. But I liked his character. I liked that he showed passion. Like, you know what I mean? When for example, when he went back and saw his father in the netherworld, and was like, "You let our people." Like that's a real kind of hard conversation to have with your dad.
Yeah.
About ideals and like how much.
That's one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, me too. And it's like, I mean, how many of us can even really have that type of conversation with our fathers? Like, man, like. Because I feel like, as a young black man, especially for black men who A, haven't had their father present, or B, have had their father present, a lot of the times you can't just talk to your dad. You can't just be like, Dad, I feel like the way you did things was really messed up. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And to have that, to show that vulnerability in that scene of like a really necessary conversation. Mm-hmm. And showing like the reality of it, and his father was like really not even really messing with it. Even at the end of the conversation, he still was like, "Nah, like I was right. I did what I had to do, right? And it, I had to make a decision right in the moment, and etc." And I thought it was a really, really good scene. I thought T'Challa did, Chadwick did really, really good job in that scene. Yeah. I really liked the way he handled his relationship with his sister too.
I love their relationship. The relationship was really good, really cool on screen. Like, that was like. Yeah.
That was really a surprise for me. That was a surprise character for me. Her. We'll get to her later.
I knew she was going to be in it and do her thing. But I was definitely surprised. Not surprised, but not relieved either. It's just
you're like, yes, okay, cool.
That's what I was definitely looking for from this movie, and you guys delivered 100%.
Right. Now speaking on T'Challa, how did you his relationship with? Not Niobe, but not Niobe. That's Nakiri.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was good. Yeah.
I liked how
it wasn't like a love story.
Thank you.
It wasn't a love story, and they left the kiss till the end of the movie, which was genius to me.
Right.
You know, it's like obviously you could tell there was something there, and
right? But you didn't know what it was. Like I was like, man, is this his ex-girlfriend? Is this like it's some girl he's trying to get at? I feel like they kind of had a little bit of history, and I liked that it was kind of mysterious and like, don't give me like don't give me the cliche.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We don't need that right now. No, you know what I mean? Because this movie is about not that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. No, yeah.
And it also allowed her character to flourish outside of being just a love interest. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
You know what I mean?
Well played. And they kicked that off from the very beginning.
In the very beginning, she did her own. And I liked the way they did that too. Because like she was just one of the girls in the thing, and all of a sudden you come to find out she's with it.
She's not. Yeah. He's out there to save her.
Right. And then she's like,
she doesn't really need saving.
Yeah.
They present that very well. It's like she's not just like a damsel in distress. You know, she can handle her own.
Right.
And I definitely want to get into all the females, but let me just finish up with T'Challa real quick. He's something about Chadwick Boseman in this Boswick. Yeah.
Boswick.
In this movie, he was just likable. Like like his character, it was subtle and like kind of mysterious in a way, but he was still likable. You know what I mean? Like you wanted him to
thrive.
You know what I mean? You really wanted him to win.
Yeah.
And I think that's what was interesting about his character, and then having him, you know, getting thrown off the cliff by Killmonger and shit. It was just like, oh shit, like he's gonna have. I mean, we all know he's gonna come back from this, or else this movie wouldn't be called Black Panther. But it was like, damn, he really has to redeem himself here, and that was interesting to see how that unfolded.
I liked that. I liked that too, and I liked when they were fighting. I was like, I don't know where this is gonna go, and that felt good. You know what I mean? It felt good to not know where the fight was gonna go. So I was like, okay. If he beats him right now,
the movie's over.
If he beats him, we know he's gonna come back. But how? And like, you know, and they fighting to the death. It's not just like I'm gonna knock you out, unless Black Panther surrendered, which would have been really devastating for the entire movie. Like, can you imagine? I give up. Killmonger is king.
Right. You go away.
You go away.
Exactly.
Now. Yeah. The strength of him
is
will now be
completely stripped. We'll never return ever. Okay. Oh my god, that would have been funny. You are done. You done. Go. Yeah. Oh man.
But you know, it was really interesting too to see. You know, that reminded me of to see the pain in his family's eyes and stuff when he was getting beat. That was
when
really,
he passed. Yeah. Well, or when he. You know,
when he was beating him up, and they were like, "Come on, get up!"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, nigga, get up!" Like, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Yeah, get up.
Bro, it was crazy because like I'm thinking like, yo, get up, right? But then I'm like,
what the rounds? 1, 2.
Yeah, and it was just like, and then what I really did not like about that scene, and we can go back to Chadwick. Let's finish on Chadwick.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's so much more.
There's so much more. This movie was so much, and I loved it. But yeah, with Chadwick, you know, like you said, he was hella likable. I like that about him, and he was also not like this stoic, perfect king, this perfect hero, superhero.
Yeah, he was totally not the typical superhero arc.
Yeah,
and kind of like treatment for your lead character. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it was a little bit different.
I liked it, and plus I liked how he was able to interact with pretty much everyone in the movie and still be himself. It's not like when he interacted with girl, he like got completely soft, or he interacted with his sister and got completely goofy.
Right.
Or he interacted with his dad and got completely sheepish.
Right.
It was like, you know, he still maintained like
himself.
royal princely self and still like was a character who like felt like somebody that you knew. You know what I mean? I feel like I knew when I walked away. I felt like I knew him as a dude.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And so now when I see him talking in like interviews and stuff, I'm like, oh, that's T'Challa. Yeah, you know. Right. So I did like that about his character, and very well written.
Yeah, I've seen 42. He did 42.
He did 42.
And he did a couple other ones, but I've seen 42. And when I saw this, I didn't put that
together.
Didn't put
that at all.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
so
you know, some characters you be like, oh yeah, that's the guy from.
Right.
But like this one, I did not. You know, he's done a lot of, especially flicks.
Yeah,
maybe that says something about the bio flicks. Or I don't know.
I mean, Maybe he has done some crucial movies.
He does some crucial movies.
For just like some like major historical black figures. Mm-hmm. That's what he is. That's like his resume. So and great now. And then Black Panther.
And now Black Panther is where does he go from here?
Exactly.
And next he's gonna play God. That's like the only other.
That's all. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
And I liked too how in Civil War his character was very just like vengeance. You killed my dad, so I'm gonna kill you. And then at the end, he kind of showed like, nah, you know what? You weren't responsible for this, so I'm not gonna kill you. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, to Nemo at the end?
Yeah, at the end. No, what his name is. The same guy we're talking about, the bad guy from
Civil War.
From Sokovia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, nah, you know what? I'm gonna let you live. But also, you're not gonna get away either. You're not gonna kill yourself.
Right,
you're gonna get locked
up.
Quick
one, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you don't.
And I thought that was tight too, and that showed like a glimpse of Black Panther's character because he carried that over into this movie now, where he's not just the straight ahead character. Like he takes on information and then he makes a decision based on that information, not necessarily his previous ideals or what have you. Right. He's not a static character. You know what I mean? He's constantly trying to improve and be a better person, which was tight, and I like that little subtlety that they carried on from Civil War, and I was like, okay. There was thought put into
it. No, yeah, I can't wait for the second one because I think he's going to be more firm in his kind of like royalness, if you will. You know what I mean? And he's not going to be questioning himself as much. That first movie, you always got to question yourself.
Yeah, it's got to be
get over this stuff, tackle this, go through the montage, and then come back and be the hero of the movie.
And I also like the way he returned too. Explosion that. So
I'm taking down one of the planes? Yeah.
And also, I thought that was really... this is really tight. I thought his path back to the throne was really dope, too, because they brought back in that tribe. And that was really cool, too, because... Because they showed up in the beginning, and it was like, oh, these cats are kind of off kilter.
What's the dude that he fought first?
He fought first, and had him, and it was like really rad. So everything was really thought out, because had he not let him live and let him... then he may be dead.
True.
Imagine if he would have killed him, and then they would have found his body. Like, oh, this is the dude that killed our tribe leader.
Right.
He got to die.
There you go.
So it was really well thought out.
Some symbolism there too.
Some symbolism. Like you never know.
You don't have to kill your own brother. Like you know what I mean. Like because you might need that favor back. You know what I'm saying? Like and that's what he told him at the end. He was like, I said, I owed you a life.
Life for life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So. And that happens in the streets every day.
Every day. Every day, like for real. You kill every day, B.
But yeah, let's take a departure from that, from T'Challa. I think we
got you.
Yeah, like I think we did him pretty well. But pause. I think we can go into like the female characters now. You know what I'm saying? Some of those female characters that were just
they
super
were crushing. These women were like
and that's where I took away from this movie kind of almost the most is like finally there's like some great black female
and it's not cliche
representation.
It's not done it's not done in a cliche way where it's like just serving the purpose of having a strong female
right exactly.
It's like okay wow well thank you,
and they were all like different in their own right
so,
and like
they're all strong in different ways,
and they didn't need Black Panther or T'Challa or anybody to be themselves, and to be their best selves. Like they were completely self-sufficient, and
also they didn't need any type of like trauma or kind of abuse or something to be strong women. They were just strong because they were strong,
and smart,
because they were smart. Like, you know what I mean? And his sister, dog, because she was so like. All the little homegirls, you know what I mean? Like she was like funny.
Yeah, Letitia Wright.
Yeah, but also she was hella smart. But it was in a way that made sense. It wasn't like this doesn't compute. Like you know what I mean? It wasn't like this is kind of fake. But it was like really real.
Yeah,
she had
the only thing that's not real is that she was like maybe 16.
Yeah.
I think she's supposed to be 16.
Yeah, it's like...
But it's just like, no, you're not 16, but it's okay. I'm going to go with it anyway.
Right, I'm going to go with it anyway. You definitely look older than 16.
Yeah.
But, white people can't tell because they don't know how old we are.
Exactly.
No,
we don't look alike?
Right, exactly.
No, I mean, what were you gonna say that one of the things that she said that kind of?
Oh my god, it was like the "What are those" line.
Oh, the one, that was
very dated, and like you can tell they wrote it a while back.
Yeah.
And it's like you got to realize things like that may not. And people laughed, and it was like, okay,
yeah, everybody in the theater pretty much laughed.
But it was like I was one of the movies. I was like, or one of those scenes where I was like,
that was 2015.
That was 2015. We are definitely in 2018. Like we are definitely not there anymore. And so like
right, but I do like that. I mean, it just added. Even though yes, I agree with you 100% that shit is dated. And I just feel like that it just added some levity to her character and their relationship.
Right. So, like she could shoot on his jokes, and he definitely had the barbecue slippers on, like for sure. The uncle, the pops, and that was really funny. And also she wasn't afraid to like get it in too.
As far as
fighting,
yeah, I don't know for sure.
Yeah, and that was tight. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect to see that. I expected like the Warriors to be the Warriors, and when she had the.
I always saw those like I saw in a promo or something like that. Her with the fist. Okay, yeah. So I knew she was going to be using those things sooner or later.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay. See, that's kind of why I have this rule of not watching previews of stuff that I really want to see because I saw them running in the Infinity War. I'm like, dang, I wish I never saw that because then that might have been a really dope twist, to reveal in the movie. And it also would have been a dope reveal, that Killmonger was indeed the big villain because I really had totally kind of forgot about him as the main villain, But just, things like that. And also, the way she was about to die. Like, she was... Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, she was about to... And I'm thinking, like, dude, they can't kill her off.
No, yeah.
And I never once thought, like, they're not going to kill her off. I never once thought, like, oh, this is fake. Somebody's going to come in and save her. Because it seems so real. You know what I mean? And it seemed like, man, somebody's got to go.
That would have been tough.
You know what I mean? If she got killed, that would have been really, really tough. But I'm glad they saved her in the way they did. It was realistic. Right. And, so that was really dope.
One of my favorite scenes in this movie, hands down, is when they go to Korea. In that whole scene.
That whole scene. That was my favorite.
From the club or the casino.
Casino fighting. Oh man, my God! When she had the red.
Yeah.
Let me say one of my favorite lines was when they were walking, and remember she had on that wig.
Yeah. I think Okoye.
Yeah, Okoye. She had on the wig, and she took it off. She's like, oh, disgraceful.
Right.
And I was like, ooh, that's kind of deep, like and a lot of people haven't been really talking about that because it's kind of uncomfortable.
Right.
And
talk
also,
about it.
But like, that's a thing, man. It's a thing, and I feel like
fake hair, weaves, like
fake hair and weaves, man. It's like, okay, so I get it. I really do. I'm not a woman, obviously. Right. But I from talking to a lot of my family and friends and, etc., like, I understand where they're coming from.
Right.
But it's also interesting that more and more black women are beginning to wear their hair natural and beginning to be embraced for wearing their hair natural. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people have been wearing their hair natural for a long time and not being embraced for it. But now it's kind of becoming a little bit more accepted, a little bit more embraced. Like, 7 years ago, our hair, we would have got laughed out of it. But now we can walk in and, for the most part, still be kind of, like, we can put on a suit and still walk in with locks. And,
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas maybe not been like that before. But that was really interesting for them to actually put that in there because, to keep it 1,100% honest, it is disgraceful. And now black women have took it and made it kind of like their own thing. And people get weaves and wigs for different reasons. Yeah. But, like, to have a straight wig that is not really our hair texture or not really the woman's hair texture, we know where that comes from. And it comes from colonization. They weren't doing that pre-colonization period. It just wasn't happening. And if you did wear hair pieces, it wasn't head pieces that made your hair look straight. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that was a direct correlation to colonization. And Wakanda wasn't colonized.
Right.
And so when they went on a disguise and she had to put it on, she had to fit in. Right. She didn't like that because it was like, that. And so it's a really uncomfortable kind of thing. I already know if, like, some of my homegirls are probably going to hit me like, but it's real. It's real. It's a direct correlation to colonization, however we try to flip it or, and black people, we're good at flipping stuff. We made soul food out of scraps, you know what I'm saying? So we're good at making stuff our own, but also it would not have been there if it wasn't for colonization, and Wakanda wasn't colonized. That was really interesting.
That's a good point, because there are a lot of things that are said and done in this movie that are a direct correlation to colonization and what would have happened or what wouldn't have happened if that wouldn't happen, didn't happen to Black people. So I think that was a good way to, the way they tackled it in this movie. It was kind of like you said, it was overt. It was also subtle. Like they wrote it and shot it really well. You know what I mean? To the point where we're not getting hit over the head with this, kind of intense militant black message, because that really wasn't. It really was. It was a message. The message was like, this is what's going on in Wakanda. We don't pro black really care. For sure, but it wasn't like nuance. It wasn't like it wasn't like this is what's going on in Wakanda in response to racism all over the world. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like that wasn't even a factor. Right. They were their own, and I think that we're a lot of times not really afforded that luxury as Black people to just operate on our own terms. Everything that we do is not for the acceptance or in response to white culture or European culture or world culture. Like sometimes we're just doing our thing. Right. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are like, oh, you're making it a race thing because it's Black. No, that's what it is. Right. You know what I mean? Was Lord of the Rings a race thing? Yeah, I'm sorry that everything has to be about race, but it fucking is. It is. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Like, don't be mad at me. You know what I'm saying? We didn't invent this. Like, you know what I mean? We're just in this, you know? And so, I thought that was really tight. Like, the stories that they were telling were not, like, centered or even derivative of anything that had to do with, other than the realistic effects that it had on their nation once they went out into the world, tried to do stuff, and then Killmonger's dad, and then so it reared itself, you know what I mean, in there, and then became a conversation throughout the movie, but it was done so realistically. One thing that I when I go see a movie, one thing I want is super belief. I need to be able to suspend my disbelief, you know what I mean? Sure. And so what the movie did was it didn't hit me over the head like you said with things like, this is about Black Panther, this is about women's strength, this is about, like, it wasn't like that. It was just like happening naturally within the context of the story, which is our lives. We are naturally become like this in the context of our lives. Like it's not my life isn't a narrative. Like, you know what I mean? Which was really, really tight, especially with her character. I keep forgetting her name. Which one? The warrior, the leader of the. The leader of like his main. Yeah. Security. I think that's Okoye. She was so dope on her own accord. Yeah. I did have one problem with the line that she did though. Which one was it? When she said, when he's like, you would kill me, and she was like, for my country without hesitation. Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute. You literally just hesitated to have this conversation. Right. Because if you went without hesitation, you would have just sliced him. Right. That's number one. Right. And number two, I felt like that was one of the only lines that was, I felt like, delivered or put in for that reason, to show Black woman's strength. And that she's not gonna just do whatever her man, or you know what I mean. Absolutely. Which is the reality for a lot. Like we know this. Right. But. But it was like, I was like, come on, like they could have done it a different way. And I think the reason why was because their relationship wasn't that developed. Right. Like there's nothing at stake for me. Yeah, on the relationship. Yeah. So whether she was like, stay together or not is meaningless. Whether you kill him or not, like it's like Well, kill her. Kill him is like, yeah, they're in the same, and they're in the same. I didn't want her to get killed. That's for sure. But I don't know. Like there was nothing. There was maybe one or two scenes that showed us that they were even in a relationship. Yeah, and it was very, very like subtle. And then earlier on, it was very subtle. Then earlier on in the movie, I believe we find out that that's also T'Challa's ex. Am I wrong about that? Right, that's what I was thinking. As I thought, are you afraid you're going to go on a trip with your ex? Yeah, so it had to be, because the other one was Nakiri, which is like current girlfriend, right? But maybe they were ex and maybe they had broken up and got. Yeah. I'm saying it was really. I wasn't. Yeah, like the relationship thing was definitely on the back burner, which I'm fine with. But also don't try to play that into like her her defining moment, right? And have me where care she's like, I don't care whether or not they are together or my gosh, she left her man for her country. Like you never because they weren't really. You guys never set that up, the relationship between Okoye and Daniel Kaluuya's.
Yeah, which I was kind of pissed off that his character kind of took that turn. He was one of my favorite characters. I liked him. He was super believable, and he was like, he was kind of like, man, he kind of looked like a thug. Like, I wonder what he's gonna do. And also, just to take a little sidetrack, his interaction with T'Challa, I was really kind of disappointed that T'Challa didn't try to explain a little bit more. He was like, yo, what? We're trying to complain. He's like, no, we're trying to kill this dude. We've been trying to kill him for however many years. You had him. What happened? And he was like, he slipped through our fingers. And that was it. And that was like, bro, like, come on, dog. Like, this is your bro. Like, y'all grew up together. Like, you're not going to give him any more explanation than that? You're not going to say, hey, I saw another dude who looked like he was from Wakanda, and he came in at the last second and snatched him and messed everything up. So I'm trying my best. We had him, but like, none of that. Huh? Just like, oh, don't worry about it, my nigga. Like, don't you worry about that, all right? It's like,
I see. I'm going to sing more of the same. Right. Yeah. I was hoping to see something different. Yeah.
Like, that was interesting.
I don't know. I feel like they needed like one more scene to make us believe that he would take Killmonger's side towards the end of the movie. Because remember, Killmonger comes through and he totally backs him because because Killmonger killed Claw, the guy who killed his parents. So he totally backs him just off the strength of that.
Yeah.
And we're just like, really, guy? I thought you're his homie. You just
for life, like
So I think they needed one more scene where it like
show him a conversation with Killmonger or
something that made us go, okay, this is really serious for him,
right?
And that's why he chose his side and whatnot. So, I mean, and what happens at the end of that? Like, after that conversation between him and Okoye, when she's like, for Wakanda,
he surrenders, and
then what happens?
Are
they
go
to
jail?
Jail?
Jail? Like,
I don't understand what happens.
And they do. That's going to
suck. Will they be in the next movie?
Yeah, I like it.
I know Okoye. Obviously, Okoye will, but like all the good
people. The people who were on T'Challa's side.
Right.
I don't know, man. It's so.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
But it kind of leaves things to. We'll see. I guess we'll see.
Yeah. But
I feel that line was kind of. Cause I don't think her character needed that line.
No.
Because we already knew she was a thug. We already knew she was a soldier. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we already knew she was not. She was about her business. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I feel like that line was kind of cheap. But
a thug, that's crazy.
No, she was really.
His nigga just said Okoye was a thug.
And not a thug like a white person calls a black person a thug.
No,
but
I know.
Like, you know.
Oh shit!
We already knew she was about her business. We already knew she played no games. We already knew that she. How else can I say this? She was a no nonsense kind of character.
No, yeah, she wasn't fucking around. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I agree 100%. That little relationship thing, there was no gravity for that for us to really feel that.
We had no stake in it.
Yeah, we had no stake in it. So,
which would have been tight, because they were both really interesting characters, and if we showed them like interact a little bit more, it didn't have to be super cheesy, but maybe he'll be in the next one, and maybe like it'll show like some more of the dynamics, because what makes movies great are stakes, right? If there's no stakes, then. And I think building, for the first movie, they kind of planted the seeds of a lot of characters. And so I think, and then hopefully, if we get a Black Panther 2, or even though we get a little bit more screen time in Infinity War, which is going to be kind of hard because there's so many characters. But, maybe, we see more and more stakes for more and more characters. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. People have been through some stuff now. Like, I think that was the first time that we know of that Wakanda had went through a attempted coup. Mm. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that was really big. So they're trying to, recover from that, and they're completely changing the way they operate as a nation. As for thousands of years, they've done the same thing. So, I'm really excited to see that, and her character. I'm excited to see her character grow, and and excited to see, what type of role. Why can't I remember any of these fools' names?
Female or male?
The woman, his love interest.
Nakiria in the movie.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what like how her character becomes a part of it, because she was kind of like a Swiss Army knife. She was like
Yeah.
She was doing whatever it took.
Yeah. No, man. She was.
You know what I mean?
She was it. I mean, I love those little weapons too. She had little circle blades. It was interesting.
Like, what are those even called? I need one immediately. I need one.
Some cool stuff.
And then like that. Okay.
And she brought it, man. She brought everything she is to the film. You know what I mean? Like she is an amazing. She's amazing. Like actress. I don't know what. I mean, she is just enchanting. It's weird. Yeah. Like you just get hypnotized when she's on stage. You know what I mean? She's just.
So multifaceted.
Yeah, you know, and same with Letitia too. Like she stole the movie.
Yeah.
My sister's name. Shiri, I think.
Shiri, yeah.
She stole the movie.
She stole,
you know, for sure.
She like whenever she was on screen, she has so much charisma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like you know, that scene when she was fighting with the red dress in the casino.
Yeah, that's my scene.
Oh my god, dude! Like
the music and everything in that scene is
and it looked real. It didn't look like one of those fake. You know,
it looked like she was spinning around her neck and everything. Yeah, like she really did the training with that weapon.
Yeah, it wasn't like Agent. What's her name? The one Avenger who like literally has no powers other than she can like do. Yeah, Black Widow, the spinning scissor hurricane kick. Right. Where it's like, dude, you wouldn't have brought down that guy. Like, stop.
Oh yeah. No, crank down. No, I mean she got cranked down in Civil War. Remember?
Yeah. She got like.
Remember when she was like she was telling her to move and you know he's like. And I think that was dope. That was a little preview of what Black Panther brings to the table and his homegirls. And now we saw what his homegirls can do. So
now it's not like
that's what he was saying.
And the way she fought these grown huge dudes, it looked believable because of how she fought.
Yeah,
like other than
how she seems tall in that.
She's tall. She's strong. And she's also like I love fight scenes. I love fight choreography. She wasn't like she was. The aggressor, rather than reacting to what the attackers were doing, she was like the aggressor. Like, I'm not going to give you a chance to even get yourself together.
Get your shit off.
Like she was coming through. Yeah. Whereas a lot of times when you see women characters like in these action kind of things, it's like
they're trying to
you wouldn't have took down that guy. She about to get punched and then
and you're reacting.
And then she's choking and you hit him with and then nah. She was like the aggressor. And that was really tight. It made it really really believable and made it really real.
Yeah. And what's really cool, I think, about this movie, just hop in real quick. I think everybody who had fight scenes, you know, did fight training, like real fight training, kind of like the Matrix.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
If you're gonna have a lot of fighting or fight choreography and whatnot, you're gonna have to learn the shit. You know, if you're gonna be doing karate or kung fu, we're gonna have to teach you.
Because we don't want to see your fake little
punches.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
And I thought, for the most part, all the fighting was believable. Now, CGI wise, let's go to CGI real quick. Here's what I have to say about this real quick. Like, when I watched the movie, I saw it twice, but like when I watched it both times, I didn't. Okay, let me just start over. No, like I didn't like put it like that. I didn't notice it. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't there for the CGI.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I was there for the story and the subtleties, the symbolism, like all the everything as a whole movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I kind of let it slide.
Right.
You know what I mean? Until later on when I talked to a couple of friends who brought it up, and I was like, "Oh shit, you're right."
CGI was not cracking.
I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't
horrible.
There was a lot of stuff that I did like about it. Like, I think the opening scene while they're describing everything, and like stuff is coming up on like that was super tight. I love that. That's cool.
That was tight.
Nothing wrong with that. But I think once we get into the, obviously the, Black Panther, and
what really
he's fighting in certain scenes,
like the challenge scene when all the people are up on there and they're swaying back and forth.
Yeah. Oh. It
just looks super.
Really?
Like they look super CGI.
Really? I thought they were real people.
They were, which is bad.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it just for me, that was one thing that stood out to me. And then like even a lot of the flying through Wakanda and all the fight, and like I was like it's like Marvel, y'all had a huge budget. Like what happened?
Yeah, that's I was looking at Wakanda towards like the end, and I realized that they didn't really go in on the design of Wakanda. Yeah, we saw some of those market streets, but that's easy to design. And like the background with some CG type of stuff, but like it wasn't like this marvelous thing that I had in my head. It was dope. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like they didn't really put a whole lot of like that's not where the money went. The money went to actors, actresses.
The main headquarters.
Yeah,
like
all, you know.
Yeah, like you remember? Did
the
you
fight
see
sequences? Like
fight sequences?
all that shit.
Did you see Coco?
I did.
Okay, well, did you see? What's that animal movie with the rabbit and the fox and the Zootopia?
Oh yeah, I think I saw that.
So remember how when they were flying through Zootopia and they showed like this is the layout of Zootopia and this is like the Iceland, this is like the forest and the scenery was really like laid out for you, so you kind of had an idea. I had no idea how Wakanda
was laid out.
Yeah, it was like they were in a village.
We flew
in the village, and then they were in the headquarters, and then it was just like this market street.
Right.
So maybe, hopefully, in the second, hopefully they make another installment. We can
explore more. Yeah,
I want to see what Wakanda looks like. What's up with the hood in Wakanda? Is there a hood in Wakanda? Exactly. Is there like a like what does the residential area look like?
Right, where's the pools?
Like,
where's the? I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see how they live. I'm interested because mostly, I'm interested in what this place looks like that hasn't been touched by colonialism. Like, I want to see what y'all cracking with, especially y'all got vibranium and all these powers and stuff. I want to see.
What are you doing with that other than making weapons?
Right. Or making tech for your. I don't know.
Cooking up chicken. I mean, some of the food in the movie looked good. I was like,
I mean, right. Dog. And the train system. I like the way they explained the train system. That was tight.
Right.
That was super dope.
Right. Exactly. So it's obviously this huge place that is hidden, but you never really see how huge it is once you're in it.
Right.
You just see a couple of landmarks, if you will.
Right.
Yeah.
The CGI was definitely not working for me.
I gotta say this: the first opening scene is something I noticed after once the CGI topic was brought up, like the first where he goes down to save Mercury or whatever in the very beginning, where he stops the trucks that are kind of like Boko Haram type of thing. Right. It's like nighttime,
right?
And you can barely see this cat,
right?
So they kind of hid that CGI in the darkness, in that one, which I didn't really get. Like I like the idea of it being nighttime.
I like to be dark. You don't know where he's at. Black Panther, he's
right. He's hiding in the darkness. It makes sense. So that played well for me, especially given the fact that they took it to daytime at the end for the finale.
And they're fighting in the CGI.
And I mean, it was like, okay, we got the nighttime shot in the beginning. Now we're going to get the daytime CGI at the end, which is cool because I like to see CGI in the daytime.
Right. Just to see what really cracking.
Exactly, man. Yeah. Stop hiding. Stop hiding your CGI in the dark. So we got to see that, and then obviously that brought it out a little bit more, and we could see that these rhinos were, very much
Toy Story.
Not exactly this Toy Story rhinos. I mean, I hate to hate on it so much, but like it kind of gives. I just want to talk about it.
No, we can be real about it.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to hate on it.
And it deserves all the praise it's getting.
Right.
But we gotta be. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it shows where we are as far as CGI in Marvel movies, and I thought we were a little bit past.
I thought so too, especially with freaking Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians, man.
Dude,
all these Jurassic Park movies, but these rhinos were looking funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like, come on, man, give me a little bit more than that.
So,
these rhinos,
and what was do you know what the budget was? Was it?
It was 200.
Was it 200? Okay.
Yeah, I think the budget was 200. It was 200.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's like not a like that's light. Not like.
No, yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot. I'm not sure.
I can live 200 lifetimes with that money. Seriously.
No, man, it's crazy.
I can live think about that. I could live comfortably 200 lifetimes with that amount of money.
Right. No, I feel it, man. I feel it 100%. It's crazy. They're just printing stuff out for a lot of these movies, man. They just print the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you'll get it back. And they're definitely getting it back.
Oh, they already got it back. They're
4 times or something, right?
Yeah, it's already.
Last time I checked, it was 700.
Yeah, I think it was 800 this morning. But that's I think it hasn't even released in like China yet or something like that. Yeah, so I think they're gonna pass $1 billion.
That's gonna be $1 billion. And I guess there has been a movie that made $1
think it was it Avatar?
I mean, I don't remember what I think they did like something crazy U.S. wise, like opening weekend. I think they broke that record, but I'm not sure. What's really strange is that I went back and watched these Christopher Nolan Batman movies recently, and I think The Dark Knight got a crazy record.
Yeah.
And
I think I think they both got records too. Okay. The Batman Begins and Dark Knight.
Oh really?
Yeah, because Batman Begins did so well. That's how he was able to do Inception and Interstellar.
Oh no kidding.
They gave him. It was like, okay, yeah, you got it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So but definitely Dark Knight. And it's funny. I went looked at the top superhero movies, and I was like, dang,
is it still up there?
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah, it's Batman Begins and Dark Knight.
Yeah, I wonder where this ranks with that.
Yeah,
and how that
I'm
works.
still, and we were spoiled, but I'm still looking for a villain somewhat similar to that,
to what? To Heath Ledger?
Not really to Heath Ledger, but just to how they did him. Like, you know what I mean? They made the villain so tight.
Yeah, Killmonger doesn't really come close. But
right. I mean, I didn't expect him to. You know what I mean? You don't really expect anybody to come up with his. But you know what?
But I think I saw that online somewhere. Like, Killmonger or the Joker or something. Like, what are we doing?
No, that's not what we're doing.
What are we doing?
We're not gonna do that. That's not fair to Michael B. Jordan, and it's not fair to his family and friends.
Or his acting coach.
No, but remember the Green Goblin from the first Spider-Man?
Yeah, what's his name?
Dafoe, William. Like, that was super. Like, that's how you do a villain. I'm still waiting for that type of villain, man, to give me they tried it with Lex Luke. Stop it, with the new back. But I'm waiting for that villain, and we already know what's his name isn't going to be that villain.
Thanos.
Thanos. He's a very one-dimensional villain. You know what I mean? And it's not really,
I'm interested to see how they do that, though.
Yeah, me too.
How he fights.
Yeah, Josh Brolin is one of my favorite actors.
Yeah,
I've loved him since The Goonies, man.
Nice,
so, yeah. But and also I'm wondering.
You see No Country for Old Man?
Yeah, man. He's.
What's the one where?
There was another one that he was in too, like some FBI.
I think he did the L.A. Cop movie out here with Ryan Gosling. I forget what that was called though.
Oh yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah, I know you're talking about. Dude, I'm looking forward to Sicario too.
Oh yeah, I saw that preview when I went to go see a movie recently.
Because that movie was really good. You mean Annihilation?
I like Sicario. And
it played in the Annihilation trailer.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And that's the same dude who did Blade Runner and Rival.
Yeah, I love Blade Runner too. Yeah,
it was pretty good. I mean, it was long.
But it was long, but it was good. And I just like the fact that there wasn't.
I really wanted Sean Young to be in it. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, me too. Yeah, the dialogue wasn't extensive, and when they did speak, it was important.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. It's like, let the actors act.
Yeah, they definitely did that.
I like that, and I obviously love the scenery and stuff.
But they just drag some scenes with scenery, like you look at stuff. You know what I mean? For a long time. There's a lot of those scenes.
I thought that little Vegas show tune scene was just way too long. It was off. It was like, we get it. Like, you guys like Elvis, okay? We get it. Boo.
Right. Yeah.
Get out of there.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I mean, overall.
Man, how do we get on Blade Runner?
We're just talking about movies or whatever. Yeah. But let's talk about who haven't we covered from this movie.
So we covered Killmonger, we covered T'Challa,
all the females. I mean, Okoye, powerful, Fury. She was like the spy type of thing. Shuri was like his. Is it M from James Bond or Q?
She was like Q? She was like M.
Is it M that shows all the weapons and stuff?
No, it was Q.
Q was like the weapons.
She's like
weapons
Q.
person.
Yeah,
she was like they had the small little James Bondy type of thing going on, which is dope.
Which is tight.
You know what I mean? There were a couple Easter eggs. I don't know if you noticed some of them, like his shoes, the ones after she says, "What are those?" The shoes that she gives him. She just for like Daddy's favorite American movie, which I'm guessing obviously is Back to the Future. So that was interesting.
Yeah, that was tight.
Just a little bit.
That was tight.
What else was it? I mean, I like the fact that Ryan Coogler was or is from Oakland. And then he correlated the whole movie to being
through Oakland.
Yeah, through Oakland, because I believe in the comics it's not Oakland. I believe Black Panther makes his connect like in Harlem or something like that. I might be wrong.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I didn't know the original. I only read like some of the ones he already had gotten into, like the whole Marvel and started interacting with the Avengers and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't know that. And yeah, he definitely because my my cousin's from Oakland. She went to school with him here at USC.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so they're actually working on some stuff together too. So like,
who's that?
Shinaka, my cousin. Yeah, did you read her?
I don't think so. You saying that she's working with?
She works with Coogler.
Oh, nice.
They work together on this show that's supposed to be coming out soon, I guess. Yeah, like he's always put on for Oakland. Like he did Fruitvale Station.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which was man, that movie was crazy.
Right.
That movie was crazy because you knew what was gonna happen, and it was still like
intriguing.
It's still intriguing, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's Fruitvale Station about Oscar Grant.
Yeah.
Kid who got shot. Yeah, up in the Bay Area.
Yeah, and it was kind of, it felt like really tied into that, especially with Michael B. Jordan's character and like what they had to go through, and like it was just some scenes where it was like getting emotional when they were talking about stuff like that. When when they were talking about stuff that the people had to go through outside, while you guys were just sitting up in here, they were like people out here and stuff like yeah. I was like, man, that's true, man. Like our people really are out here like really suffering so bad to the point where a fake comic book character is like bringing us to giving us life, like that, and that's what I walked away. Right. I walked away like happy, but also sad because I was like, dang, like this is dang near the closest we're gonna get to like, like or the closest we've gotten, I should say, to like this to being actually free. Like is this fictitious place? Like you know what I mean? Right. That's why like every time I watch episode 6 of Star Wars, I get upset because I'm like, man, they beat the Empire. Wow, what a wonderful feeling! Like I wonder what that feels like.
Episode 6. Oh, okay. Yeah. The Last Jedi.
Yeah. No, not the Last Jedi.
Oh, sorry, not Last Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, when they beat the Empire, I was like, wow, good for those people. They got their freedom, like you know what I mean. Like our people are still like, right. Right. And it's been diluted to the point where people think we have our freedom. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm really skeptical that we'll actually reach our freedom because a lot of people don't even know we're not free. Right. You know what I mean? So it's just like that was kind of like something that I just had to deal with, during the movie and after the end of the movie, which made the movie really good. It made me feel real things, and that's what I want. That's what I want a movie to do. Right. I want to be able to be entertained. I want it to be able to be escape. I want to be able to like relate. I want to be able to apply it to like. I want to be able to put myself in the movie's thing and actually, philosophize. Right. That's a word. Philosophize. Right. That's a word. Philosophize. Yeah.
Sure. Why not? I'll take it.
I mean, Shakespeare made up words. Why can't I?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think everything was legit. But the one thing that I don't like, though, is the music on some parts where it's like trappy. Almost.
Yeah. It kind of took me out, and that's why I was saying. Like, I listened to the.
Is it got a button on it?
I'm over here like
turn that thing off.
Because like I actually went back and listened. Like I was telling you, I listened to the score on Apple Music. Yeah. And I'm like, why did they use this
instead?
Because the trap beat kind of took me out of.
I understand what it was trying to do. It was trying to keep it a little bit contemporary. Right. And I get that. You don't want to. You want to include these young kids.
Right. Who you are trying really, it's for them, really.
It's a kid's movie, exactly. So you're trying to relate to them in a certain way, which I get. So keep it in there a couple times. A couple times would have been good. Right. I would have been fine with that. But like 4 or 5 times, I kept hearing that beat every come
time.
Back.
It was coming like every time.
Like flying back into Wakanda. Like, oh, man.
It's like, all right.
Those hi-hats, yeah. Man. Like, oh, man.
I'm surprised they didn't do that.
Exactly, man. It's just like
no.
Why don't we just stick with more of the African music, mix that in with like kind of score like they did a couple times. Right. Do more of that. Would have been better.
because the score does so much for the movie.
It does, yeah, and they did a good job with getting a lot of those. I mean, I heard he had to go to Africa prior to making this movie,
right?
And so he got a lot of inspiration from that, and real music down there, which he incorporated 100%. That was just like that was satisfying for me. You know what I mean? To see and hear how he translated this music that he got inspired by, and put it into the film because it needed it. Because that's what the movie was. It was, very much. I don't even want to say tribal. When I say tribal, it seems like it cheapens, like what our ancestors were. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, especially this.
Iteration.
Yeah, exactly. Iteration of it because they're advanced.
Right. It was very authentic. And I felt like it was interesting too to see like a fictitious country be realized and it seemed actually real.
Right.
Like you know what I mean?
Right.
And a lot of people were like, okay, you gotta make it. You gotta decide. Are you gonna be from Wakanda or are you gonna be from Zamunda? And I was like, man, both of these places seem really realistic. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, like that was, and it's hard to do. You know what I mean? And then a lot of people were like, oh man, their accents were like, fake. But it's like they have to make up this fake accent because they're not.
Right, they're not
from Ethiopia. Exactly. They're not from Kenya. They're not from Ghana. They're from Wakanda. Like you know what I mean? So they had to kind of have this half. I don't even know what to call it. I guess Wakandan. You know what I mean? But
did you notice the black dude with the thing in his lip? I think isn't he like?
Yeah, with the big thing. Yeah, that was taken from. I forget what culture they do that in. Mm-hmm. Oh my god!
But yeah, that was the actor. I was like, dude, that's the. He's like a known actor. Maybe had like one line or two lines, but he's like this known actor. I think he's like French or speaks French. Remember? I don't know if it was Ghost Dog. He plays the ice cream man. Remember that? Do you remember?
That was him.
I think so. It might be a different dude.
He looks super similar.
Like he reminds me of somebody who I've definitely seen. I don't know why I think of Ghost Dog, but maybe it's.
He's like, we do not challenge. We will not challenge today. Yeah.
Like the cast, they just really. I feel like he got everybody that he wanted for this.
Oh, I like when on the challenge scene where the Jabari tribe comes down. He's like, for years we have sat by, and he's like, I accept your challenge. He just like cuts him off, and he's like, yeah, I accept your challenge. Let's get the crack. Like let's fight. Yeah, like all this talking, and like I like that because too many times in superhero movies is like my monologue because I am going to do this, and it's like, shut up, let's fight. Like that was tight.
Yeah, definitely, man. Post-credit scenes. What did you think about the first post-credit scene? Them being in the UN.
UN. I liked that. It showed the roundness of his character, of T'Challa's character, and it showed that they were going to try to make some things right.
Right.
But it's not perfect because you're going to run the risk of doing all kinds of stuff. But it just brings more story. Now we have more storylines that we can go off of, and it opens up Wakanda and Black Panther to the whole MCU, which is tight. Hoping 20th Century Fox gives up those rights so we can
incorporate some
X-Men from Wakanda,
no doubt. What do you think about the haters, though? I feel like there's not. I'm not talking about like white people here. I'm talking about like black folks who are hating on this movie and like trying to get people not to boycott, but just trying to like take it to a point
take away the this isn't like you guys are spending all this
money. It's gonna go in white people's pockets.
It's not, right. Bro. Look, listen, let me explain something. This is for all the. Listen, bro. Here's the thing. There's so much more that goes into Revolution than just the material act. Because what you're not about to do is, you're not about to pick up a gun and go at City Hall or go at the White House or go at the Pentagon. You're not about to do that, bro. And even if you were, you don't have the means to do that, right? But what we do have the means to do is affect the minds of our people. And if our people and our young people are coming up and seeing themselves no longer as secondary characters in the American or world narrative, then they're able to see that revolution can be, you can't revolutionize a country without revolutionizing the community. You can't revolutionize the community without revolutionizing your neighborhood. You can't revolutionize your neighborhood without your family, and you can't revolutionize your family without yourself. It all starts here.
Right.
So if you don't see yourself as anything,
right.
if every time you look around, you're seeing yourself as a secondary help character to something, you know what I mean? Like, imagine seeing this as a kid.
Right.
And people are like, oh, well, Blade was the first movie. Yeah, but it wasn't like this.
Right.
It wasn't like this, not even close.
Yeah, not at all.
Not even close. Blade was...
I'm glad you brought that up.
Blade was like completely, like, come on, man. Like, he wasn't like this kingly... He was like a... Come on, man.
A part of me wants to see him, like, a quick little cameo in Infinity War.
Give me a cameo in Infinity War. Wesley Snipes.
Please give me Wesley. That would just make my day.
The crowd would go wild, honestly. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I would stand up and clap hard as a motherfucker. Like, especially even if it was like a post-credit scene. I'm even cool with that. Post-credit I'd be out of my seat, man. Like, yes! Like,
so, you know,
just for the fuck of it.
This movie took on something other than what the movie was intended for. The movie was intended to entertain people. It's a movie.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a PG-13 movie.
It's a PG-13 comic book character movie.
Right.
What we as black people do is we make things what we want them to be, and we use this as kind of our rallying cry, or as a kind of a point of like a meeting, like almost like a family reunion type of thing, to be like, look, there's, you know, we are more than this, and it's cool to be represented like this in entertainment, because entertainment is not just entertainment.
Right. And
the people who are in charge of entertainment understand that. That's why you have the CEO of Viacom doing what they do, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because they understand that entertainment is more than just entertainment. You know what I mean? Right. So, you know, it travels way further than this is just a fake movie and people didn't support. Now, I will say, you know,
you get like I've seen some, like, you guys are getting all excited about, you know, a fake black hero with, from a fake city, you know, a fake African country. You know what I mean? Just like, I feel like it's like a lot of those people that try to find something
bad to like bring down the killjoys, killmongers and killjoys.
Exactly, you know, and it stems from a place, a real place where I can see, you know what I mean? It's like
I can see what you're saying.
It's almost like coming from the killmonger perspective of like,
I can see what you're saying, but also that's not the way to do it, dog.
Right.
You want what we use this excitement to funnel, you know, some fervor for other projects that are real and.
Right.
You know,
because change minds. You know,
right. Because I was like really kind of taken aback by the whole Nat Turner thing. I really thought that was a movie that we were going to get behind and be able to do. But then, like, the Nate Parker situation came up, and I was like, dog,
What was that? Like, I forget. Was it a cheating situation or?
No, it was I guess it was kind of iffy. He hadn't gotten to a situation with a girl back in like high school and college, and it was like.
Abuse or something.
Not abuse, but like that, like she, like an allegation, like she didn't, like afterwards she said that she didn't consent, and he was like, nah, yeah, you did, and then like she had dropped the case, but this was like years and years and years ago.
But it's coming up
already
now.
Resolved, but it came up now because he was coming out with the movie and like, and it really kind of hurt my feelings that black people were the ones that were went for him.
I mean, you see that a lot. And go ahead, man. Finish your thought.
No, I just was saying, you know, it sucks because that Nat Turner story was a story that when I was a kid, that was like one of the only stories that I really, really, really liked. Because, you know, as a kid we were taught like Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass, and I don't know, George Washington Carver. Exactly. Not even like, I didn't even get Marcus Garvey. I didn't get Malcolm. I didn't get Angela, I didn't get none of that. Until I got older and started researching on my own. But one of the things I did come across was Nat Turner, and I was like, ooh, this guy. I like this guy. So then when I finally found out the movie was getting a major league, I was like, ooh, yes. Yeah. Like this is I mean, yeah, it's based around a slave, but it's like not a slave that is like ends up with still in slavery. Like it's like this guy was like about that action. And I was excited to see that powerful kind of take your own destiny to your own hands mentality from a black character made by a black man. You know what I mean?
The movie.
The movie.
Yeah.
Made by a black man. I'm like,
Who
yes.
Who did it? Yeah.
Nate Parker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
so
then,
he
I believe he wrote it and he wrote it and started it.
Oh, no shit.
And I think he got the money together and
did his thing.
Yeah. So it just was really unfortunate that movie did. And so like, you know, and I was like, dang, man, because that could have been a really, and it was a good movie too. It was a good movie. And so that was unfortunate, but you know, so I get where those people are coming from. Like, oh, you know, because Nat Turner was a real dude whose story needed to be told in a big way.
Right.
You know what I mean? And absolutely, and so I get that, but also it doesn't mean that Black Panther isn't any less worthy of the praise and the hype that it was getting. Because honestly, for black people, let a black person have some joy for once.
No doubt. Like,
are we allowed to do that?
Exactly.
Like,
and the answer is yes.
And the answer is yes. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. You know, you see a black person having a good time. Oh, look at you. You gotta have a good time when our people out here dying. It's like, oh, calm down, bro.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
So, you know, so I'm for Nat Turner. For, you know, which was the movie was A Birth of a Nation, and I also like how he took the title of that film, because the original Birth of a Nation was like a racist propaganda film.
Right.
I like how he took it and flipped it. I love that.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you're right.
So I'm for Birth of a Nation. I'm for Wakanda. I'm for Black Panther, and I'm for Blade, and I'm for different aspects of blackness. We're not defined by our struggle.
Right.
It's a major part of us. We're not defined by that, so we don't need to play into that.
Right. We're not a monolith.
We're not a monolith. But there's so many different types. You have your Shuris, and you have your T'Challas, and you have your Killmongers, and you have, you know what I mean? Exactly. There's all this.
There's levels.
There's levels, bro. Yeah. There's levels to us, and there's levels to this, and so that's what I really enjoyed too about the movie. It was like, we're these like, you know, typical characters.
You know what's crazy? When I went to go see Spider-Man, I went out here, just right here, you know.
Which Spider-Man?
The newest one. The one
that came out
last year.
Amazing Spider-Man.
What's it called? Amazing Spider-Man?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Homecoming. No, sorry. Yeah.
Homecoming. I was like, wait a minute.
No, that's Garfield. Yeah,
we forgot about that one. Yeah, the Homecoming. It's pretty much mostly white folks in the theater. Yeah. And this is back last summer. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Black Panther hasn't come out yet. And the Black Panther trailer comes on. And everybody goes nuts after it finishes. You know what I mean? Like, it's lit. White boys saying it's lit out here.
Yeah.
It's just like, I've seen so many white folks excited for this movie, even though I know there's white folks that triggered online about it. And it's like, man, why are white folks so excited about this? Why can't we be excited about it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
why can't we? And it's art. It's written and directed and starring all these like it's about a black. Like, let us be excited, bro. Let us be excited. You know, the fact that white people were excited too. Here's the thing: Black Panther's a dope character. He's just a dope character, and it's not because he's black. He's just a dope character who is black, and that's a huge part of his identity.
Right.
But it's like, he's just a dope character, dog. He's like this panther, like, walks, and he's powers, and he's got the, come on.
Yeah.
He's just dope. He's just dope.
The upgrade to the suit was dope.
Upgrade to the suit was sick.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that works with, like, Thanos, if he ever fights Thanos.
Right, the energy, like,
kinetic energy or whatnot. That might be dope. Before I forget, that second post-credit scene.
Oh yeah, I was waiting. I knew that there was gonna. I was like, this is like it's gonna have another one.
Yeah.
And so I waited, and so I was like, yes, yes. It shows us, and this is spoiler alert. So if y'all haven't seen it, just might as well, But yeah, it shows Bucky. It's the dumbest name ever. It shows Bucky. But it shows him in Wakanda as like, oh man, he went there and he looks like he's fine. But they didn't show Captain, which I thought was cool because I kind of wanted to see Cap. Like, where's he in it?
Yeah,
but he's gonna do the big reveal in Infinity War, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah. What's interesting is when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, that's right. He's out here because he leaves Black Panther takes Bucky with him at the end of Civil War. Correct? He's like,
no, they fly. Black Panther leave. They leave.
Civil War ends. And they show a quick thing of Wakanda, remember? Like in the post-credit scene or something.
Yeah, but it was...
No.
Black Panther goes back to Wakanda.
Yeah.
But I thought Cap and Bucky kind of go on their own.
No. They freeze Bucky because he feels. Remember they freeze him.
Right.
They
freeze him. That's right. That's right.
Because he feels like he's like a menace, pretty much. So they freeze him, and then it like pans to the right, and it shows that they're in Wakanda. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Something like that. So I think I'm pretty sure that was like a post-credit scene after Civil War was all said and done. So you know that he's there,
right? But I had totally forgot about that.
Forgot about that too, man. But it was weird though, because like in the beginning of the movie, or like when I was going to the movie, I was like, yeah, there might, Bucky might be in there, we might get a scene. But then once like the movie was over, that just washed
out of
exactly. Who is that? So it was cool like to bring that back, because it was almost like, oh, you forgot about this guy, here he is now. And it's just a quick little scene, but Shuri's there, so it shows that she has been pretty much the one overlooking them and whatever, using, vibranium or whatever to heal him and to make him not be a psychopath anymore.
Right, because in the comic books, Captain America and Black Panther were like buddy. Yeah. So maybe this is like the beginning of how they become friends. Yeah. And that brings him into the Infinity War. It kind of brings.
Yeah, I mean, for sure he's gonna be out there fighting. He might have a vibranium arm now or some shit.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the character. I really don't care too much for Bucky Barnes. Like if he didn't exactly Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier.
He was my friend, all right. Like
he's Cap's boyfriend, man, and I'm good on that whole relationship.
Yeah, like
if he wasn't a part of the whole Infinity War, I'd be 100% fine.
I'd be down.
It wouldn't bother me.
Honestly, like them using
him, just let him sleep, just chill, put him on ice, and just let him
chill.
Them
using him as like a huge catalyst for like the last couple of movies, it's just been such a stretch to me.
Like Winter Soldier was good. Let's leave it at that. And then they bring him back for Civil War, have him kill T'Challa's dad. It's just like, oh, fuck, man.
Right. It was like they really want this to work. Like,
who really cares about him now?
Nobody cares. I'll tell you, because honestly, I barely care about Captain America as it is. Like, I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Right. Like, okay, I think about my favorite characters in the MCU, and it's like, okay, especially now that Spider-Man's in there, he's definitely top. Iron Man, obviously.
Did you like Spider-Man: The Homecoming?
I thought it was cool. I thought it was straight, and I really liked the villain. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I meant to talk about that earlier.
Oh my God, yes, that was so cool. How Batman came back to be in Spider-Man, and it was like the whole And he was that scene where they were in the car. Oh man, the suspense.
Batman, Birdman,
and who was he now?
Vulture.
He was the Vulture. Yeah.
I think there's another one where he's another bird, but I could be wrong. Another movie.
He's definitely winging it up.
But I love Michael Keaton in Spider-Man.
Yeah, and he was good. Oh man, that scene when they're in the car, that was so
suspenseful. It was one of the greatest movies, or not movies, but one of the greatest scenes in the comic book movie history, I think.
Yeah, I think, dude, because it was like, oh, like, what is he going to do? Like, this is so, like, the way they talk.
He's like, I'll kill you, I'll kill your family, kill everybody you love. You know what I mean? Like, he was with the business. You just love it when
the villain is like really no nonsense. Like Ra's al Ghul or something. Like,
but stop, damn it. You're gonna get me sidetracked. Nah. Bad guys. What was I gonna say? Shit.
You asked me did I like Spider-Man? I said yeah, because I really like the villain, Vulture. He was also known. Yeah, he was no nonsense. He killed that one dude. He was like, you can't get. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna quit. I know a lot. Like, why would you say that? Like,
that shit cracked me up. Whoever that fake ass Tom Hardy looking motherfucker was, he said, oh yeah, oh okay. Oh, he thought, he really thought he had some shit popping. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, he's like, oh for sure, let me kill this cat real quick. He thinks he's popping out here in these streets.
Vaporized him.
Yeah,
and then he was like, oh man, I thought it was a stun gun. All right. Anyway,
anything goes to the Bokeem Woodbine, he's a shocker. That's what I liked about it. Like, he became a shocker.
Right.
That's like a huge villain, Spider-Man villain in the books. I was like, nice. Let's get this fake Tom Hardy out of here.
Yeah, fake.
And Bokeem is the new.
I love him, by the way, the actor. I love him.
Who?
The guy who played the Shocker. The guy who played.
Bokeem Woodbine?
Yeah.
He's a shit.
Yeah, he's
I'm so glad that he is a part of this, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping that he comes back in the next one.
Yeah.
To maybe they do like a Sinister Six thing
Right,
or whatever. For that'd be dope. Because the second time I watched Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming, just really quickly, I didn't like it as much as the first time. I was a little bit hyped when I first saw it because I knew. I mean, Iron Man is like one of my favorites, so I knew he was going to be in it, and all his scenes in it. I just like ate up and loved, and I was like, this is amazing. This is dope that Spider-Man finally has like a mentor,
right?
Because all those past movies,
he was
he
just
had his uncle Ben,
and
you know what I mean? Ben was gone, so he was not really. He needed a support system,
right?
Somebody to guide him through. It
was believable that he was doing all this like little kid stuff, like this teenage kid stuff. Like he was like leaving to go things like messing. It's like, why is he doing this? Oh, like that's why, because he's a teenager. Yeah, absolutely,
and I like that.
And he needed that mentor. You're right. That guidance kind of.
But the second time I watched it, I didn't like it as much.
Why?
And I don't know, man. It was a little bit boring. Like I didn't get enough Spider-Man.
Right, you wanted more Spider-Man than Peter Parker.
Exactly.
Yeah, same.
And there was hella Peter Parker in that movie.
There was a lot of Peter Parker.
And we know
a lot of talking. He's really talkative.
Yeah. And I watched it right after watching Doctor Strange, which I still like.
I love Doctor Strange, bro. Can we get for a second, dog?
Yeah.
The amount of material they cover in Doctor Strange is like he goes from not even knowing about this to like being a master at this, and it was very believable. It was very, very believable. And he was this complex character who you kind of liked, but you kind of didn't like. He was an a-hole, but then you understood what he was kind of going through, and then I was like, oh man, it was so good.
I could have used one more scene to make me believe that he's this powerful now.
Right. Like one more scene where he was like,
he had to figure some shit out. It was almost like he went to nobody to a sorcerer kind of overnight.
Yeah, exactly.
But that they pull that off by saying that he's like this, he's this
crazy great doctor. He's good with his hands, and
but that's how he became such a good doctor, because he would read, like he reads hella.
Yeah, and exactly. He
has
absorbed information. Yeah, he's like he has a photographic memory.
Right? Yeah. So he used that same skill set to
then learn all the sorcery. Yeah, exactly. And I like how the leader, she wasn't all perfect too. She like kind of did some things and kind of messed up, and then did things, and then the villain was really good. He had a point, kind of, but then he was like he went all about it the wrong way, just like how we want a villain to be. And then he goes to the season, the way he like overcomes this huge all powerful thing, which was so genius.
The loop Dormammu thing.
That was
dope.
Dormammu. Yeah. Like I love that scene where he kept coming back. Dormammu, I've come to bargain with you.
Right.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain with you. He was like, like you the most annoying nigga ever, bro. Right. What do you want, dog? Like,
you gotta know it. That's pretty funny. Eventually, you gotta know it. But yeah, I mean that was really dope. The CGI was cool. I liked that. But before he went up there to talk to him and stuff, when everything was going backwards and shit,
that was sick.
That was pretty dope.
That
was well done.
I think the CGI in that movie was done. It was done really, really well.
Like the cape looked
good. The whole Inception looking cityscape twisting thing.
Right.
And then the first time he even went on a trip, when she touched him on his forehead, and he went through the universe, and like that was good. I was like, dang, like they really went in.
Yeah, they went there.
Is he gonna be in Infinity War?
I believe so. Yeah, absolutely he is. Yeah. What am I talking about?
Yeah, he's definitely tight. He's definitely one of my favorite. He jumped to one of my. Like, he wasn't one of my favorite in the comic books. Yeah. But after seeing the movie, like I'm like, okay, yeah, I like. And plus, he was a perfect casting. Yeah. Benedict Bastard Batch.
Yeah. Bastard Batch.
Comfort blunts.
Comfort blunts. No, I feel that. I liked his character, but the thing is like he's another one of these British dudes who's out here playing an American accent.
Yeah.
And sometimes it sounds sounds like a different person to me. And
what about your boy who went back at the post-credit scene and then took dude's powers back? There's too many sorcerers. I love him, first of all, as an actor.
Yeah.
I feel like he doesn't get his due. I feel like he can carry a lot.
He almost did the Black Panther. He was almost Black Panther. Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me that. Oh man. Oh no. Oh no, Chadwick. Oh no, dog. Because I've loved. No,
he's been in a lot of shit.
He has, and so
he's already part of the Marvel thing, being that character.
Yeah, being that character.
And I don't like it when two people
like
Josh Brolin, even though it's Fox and Marvel are separate or whatever.
Right.
You know, playing Cable and Thanos
and
to
Thanos,
me is like,
no.
I wanted somebody else for Cable, for sure.
Yeah, because Cable, I don't know. Thanos, yes, but Cable, nah. No. But dude, back to what's his name, dog. He's one of the few people in movies to carry his own and hold his own right next to Denzel, bro. Like he was like,
what was he in
American Gangster?
Oh, that's right.
I mean, he was dope. And then in Four Brothers,
$50,000 alpaca. You blocked that shit,
bro. And then in Four Brothers, he was super good. Remember? Get down in there and share a meal with your man, bro.
Right.
God, dog.
Oh, yeah, he's good. He's real good.
Oh man, you shouldn't have told me that. That's crazy.
But don't hold me to that. I think I heard that.
Right.
I think I heard that, like he was up for the running or something like that.
Man, I would have loved, because he's just like he's got such a power to him, such a like. Yeah. Not saying Chadwick doesn't, because he killed it. Yeah. But man, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I want to see him come back as the villain, because he looks like he's gonna be.
Hopefully, in the Doctor Strange, if they make a sequel, he's in that, and he plays more of a villain role. That over
under 4 years, 3 years that Black Panther gets a sequel.
3 years? 4 years?
Yeah, you think so?
I hope so. I don't see why not. Given its success, yeah, man. They got so many movies though in the pipeline. Did you see Thor Ragnarok or not?
Yes.
Okay, the whole opening with Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
was dope. I'm so glad he was in there. I was super.
Me
dope.
too.
That opened that up. But let's see. What else could we say about Black Panther that I haven't talked about?
I think we covered a lot.
Angela Bassett in there.
Angela Bassett, she's, and
apparently she was the original for Storm. She was, I think, originally supposed to be cast for Storm. So
really?
There was like this little moment there where we kind of wanted her, but she was, when T'Challa was dead and they were hiding out in the forest. We're like, dang, I wonder if she could summon some little cloud. That'd be so crazy, right?
Because when does 20th Century Fox give up their rights?
I have no idea.
Because honestly, Black Panther and Storm are an item.
Absolutely.
They're together in the comic books.
Right.
Yeah. So
I believe she's from Cairo, though. I'm not sure.
Yeah. She's not from Wakanda,
right. but still.
But I want to see that.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
And so for him, I'm wondering what's going to happen with him and Carrie. They're not going to work out. Is she going to become? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. But
that sucks, man. That sucks.
Infinity War. Go ahead.
Infinity War. Wait, there's one thing I wanted to say about Black Panther. Was
the strength?
Why did he have to die?
Forrest Whitaker.
That was totally unnecessary. He killed himself for no reason.
He killed himself?
Pretty much, because he was like, yo, kill me.
Oh, that's right.
He's like, yo, kill me. And he was like, all right. Yeah. Okay, now, so back to Black Panther now. Bye.
Right.
Like, I'm still going to do everything that I was going to do before you decided to do this. Right. So.
Well, right. Well, here's what he did. Right. He, instead of killing T'Challa, he kills Forrest Whitaker, and then just picks at T'Challa and throws him off.
Right.
Cliff. So.
I mean, but he still, in essence, tried to kill
him. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like you really died for no reason.
Yeah.
Because he probably still was gonna throw him off the cliff anyway. Maybe.
Yeah.
No, he was gonna stab him or something, huh?
Yeah, he was gonna stab T'Challa.
So I guess he took the risk of.
Right.
And plus, he kind of felt guilty for the whole thing anyway, which really still wasn't even his fault.
Right.
But and that sucks because I like Forrest Whitaker's character. But why do you have to go burn all the heart shape?
I was just about to say that right now. Burn it. Burn it all. Burn it all. Okay.
That's right. Burn it.
Burn it. Burn it all. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, Tupac, dog. Calm down, dog. Like, come on, man. Like,
he said,
burn it all.
Tell me,
you mother.
Burn it all, bro.
Burn it all.
Tell me he said "bro" a couple times in this movie, right? Did he not? I hope he did.
Burn it all. As a staff record label and as a group.
Right.
T'Challa
bad boy,
burn
you too.
Right. Oh. Come on, man. Like, come on. Like, that was a little bit. Burn it all, bruh. Not bruh, but bruh.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, all right.
And if you down with T'Challa, fuck you too. Wakanda, fuck you too.
All you motherfuckers.
Right.
My 4-4 make sure all y'all kids don't grow up. You motherfuckers can't see us or see us.
Oh man,
Don't like Riders West Side till we die.
Exactly. Man.
Man. Yeah, there was definitely some hit 'em up Tupac in
some of that
in
stuff.
Killmonger's character.
That had me rolling, man.
Yeah, it was like okay.
Are we good? Are you guys good?
If I was one of the side characters, I'd be like, oh,
whoa, that's a little pockish.
Can you imagine if he was like, yeah, burn them all. He's like, ooh, big bad Killmonger, and he'd be like, what'd you say? You know what I'm saying? We're really scared of you.
Right.
All those pimples on your chest.
I mean,
you know
he picked up the one chick
that
for
was
not
crazy.
doing it fast enough. So like he was just out here ruthless. You know what I mean? Just
he didn't have no point. He was damaged.
He was just trying to catch bodies.
He was trying to catch bodies, bro. He had some hate that he wanted to get out of his heart.
Right. You gotta open up and let it out.
You gotta open up and let it out. Also, we gotta kill you.
Right. Also, if you don't survive, we're gonna get rid of you or put you in jail.
We gotta put you. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Like.
Whoa! You know what's crazy? That was the second time that Black Panther had somebody on his knees that he could have killed him, and he went up to him and was like, "So I'm not going to kill you." Because remember he did that with the other dude in Civil War. It was the same ending scene.
Interesting. Well, he let him die in this one.
He let him die in this one. He stopped the guy from killing himself. No. I mean, he didn't stop Killmonger from killing himself, though. He could have stopped and be like, no, this stays in.
Oh, yeah.
We will save you.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like, no. Yeah.
He wanted to go, and it was, I guess, better that he did die anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it was obvious that Killmonger didn't really have any, reasoning. Not reasoning, but obviously he had reasoning for what he was doing, but he had no reason within, trying to reason with.
Right. Yeah, I don't even reason with you. I have no reason to live. I'm cool.
Yeah, he was trying to change everything up, and he doesn't give any fucks, so they had to just pretty much let him die. So
you know what I thought? You know what I thought about the train scene? Kind of reminded me of Episode 1, Star Wars.
I can't say that I really, really watched that movie.
Okay, do you remember though when they were fighting Darth Maul, and they would those things would come up,
yeah,
and they had to stop, and they were pacing back and forth.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
That was kind of the same kind of thing where the train would come up, and their powers, no powers, and then the train would go by, and then they had to fight again. I thought that was really interesting.
Oh, little parallel.
Yeah, a little parallel right there. Nice, Disney,
man. Absolutely, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, what other kind of? I'm trying to think.
I think that's it. I think we pretty much covered. I mean, there's a lot in that movie.
Yeah,
we covered a lot of it. I think. Yeah, we covered a lot.
All right, man. Let's talk about what you've been doing.
What I've been doing, man. Well,
what's your recent project or got any shows or anything? Or?
Yeah. So I have a recent project out, Eden, which is funny because I feel like definitely one, possibly two of the songs should have been on the Black Panther soundtrack. They sound exactly like they would be there.
Which one?
It's really Afro-futuristic. They have a song called Balance with Il Camille and Mickey Fax, which is the chorus is like a little African chant.
I heard that. I was actually stuck in my head the other day.
Yeah, word. Dope, man. Yeah, and so it kind of sounds like kind of futuristic, but Afro-centric, you know. So I was like, yeah, that's kind of goes pretty.
That's what we could talk about, just the Afro-futurism.
Afro-futurism of it. Dude, it was like, like you said, like imagine an Africa without colonization, and it's like, man, look at the technology we had before anybody rolled up over there, where that could be. Yeah, it was really cool, the train system, the weapon system, their defense system, their just ability to hide, their infrastructure, and just when they were walking around, the technology was nothing to them. It was like, yeah, we got this super dope thing, and it just does this. And it's
right.
And he's the guy is looking around. He's like, oh man, wait, you guys have this? Oh, you guys have this? She's like, yeah, it's nothing. Which I guess could make sense for her to be 16, right? If she grew up in that, it's kind of like a 16-year-old now knows how to use all this kind of technology. If they went back 20 years, somebody would be like, there's no way a 16-year-old can do all that.
Or create an app.
Create an app or something like that. But yeah, they can. You know what I mean? So that makes kind of sense there, which was tight.
Definitely.
You know. So it's funny because I really tried to harbor that Afrocentrism, Afrofuturistic kind of element to the last project that I did. It was very, a lot of raw tribal sounds, but a lot of futuristic elements to it too. It's called Eden.
In Eden, yeah.
Yeah, it's called Eden. Yeah, it's out right now on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Tidal.
No doubt.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Cool, man.
So yeah, that's out right now. We got a couple music videos coming out here pretty soon. Actually working on new music too.
Did you do a video for Balance? Or not Balance?
Balance, yeah, for Balance.
Yeah.
Well, I shot my parts of the video, but Mickey Fax lives in New York, so we gotta try to coordinate that. And El Camille lives out here, so I want to try to shoot his and hers at the same time. Together. So so I could be in their shots too. So that's with that. But we did shoot a video for a song I have with Mona Naive called Concrete, and we're shooting a video for another song that I have called Comeback.
Nice.
Which is super tight. And we're shooting another scene for that soon. So we're actually gonna need like a lot of people. Actually, would be tight if you could be in it. You don't have to do much, but anyway.
For sure. Yeah, man.
But yeah, so it's basically like all like black people with like natural long hair. So like so
for Balance.
For Balance and for Comeback. The song Comeback.
Got it. And that's off of Eden as well, right?
That's on Eden as well.
Where could people find that album?
It's on Apple Music, iTunes. You just search Justin Sky or just search Eden Justin Sky, or just go to justinsky.com and it's all there. So I've been doing that and then doing the Society of Spoken Art stuff. SOSA.
Nice. Let folks see the.
Oh yeah, SOSA. Yeah. Society of Spoken Art. That started by Lupe Fiasco.
Okay.
And it's basically like Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, but for rappers.
Okay.
It's like
for rappers.
It's like X-Men for rappers, yeah.
Only, or is it like?
It's rappers. It's rappers, yeah. Nice. I mean, the way they promote, the way they sent it out was rappers. And obviously we're poets by default.
Nature,
yeah. But it's definitely for rappers, and it's like, we learn about semiotics and philosophy and linguistics and language and. It's like everything, all coding, computer coding, all that.
Are there different chapters in different parts of the country?
No, so it's a worldwide thing, but everyone answers with there's 11 apprentices all over the world. We got accepted, and we're all a part of it. But they have different aspects of it. So there's without telling too much, because I can't really, but there's the academic side. There's the there's rappers, but there's also MIT professors in there too.
Okay.
And there's teachers, and there's guys who do coding, and they all kind of inform our curriculum.
That makes sense.
So, for instance, Lupe started it. He's in it. He's really active in it. And we have MIT professors, and there's one guy who's cataloged every rap song ever, and he's kind of helped to do some of the curriculum. And then, Black Thought is in it too.
Nice.
And this is, I don't know if Joe Budden's going to be in it or he is already. I don't know. There's a lot of mystery involved. But we don't really know everything. We're just apprentices. But it's a lifetime thing. For the first 2 years, you're apprenticed. And after that, you become, you move on until you become a grandmaster. So it's really, really, really dope. It's something my nerd self has been wanting for a long time. And it's kind of cool that it's here now.
It's here, yeah. When did that, do you know when it started?
It started, I think, in 2015, but they just brought in the first class last September, so we're X-Men first class.
Oh, that's sick, man.
Yeah. So and there was a 3-month process or whatever, applying, different steps.
So just to get through,
just to get in. Yeah. And then even then, you're still your first 2 years, you're still kind of on a probationary period.
Right.
You're apprentice still.
Right.
We just finished our midterms, which were freaking sick, and hopefully maybe I'm thinking about releasing kind of my midterm as a little project. I don't know, some verses. We'll see.
Nice, man. Speaking of Lupe, real quick, how do you kind of? I know you listen to all different types of music and different types of hip hop as well. You know what I mean? Where do you see artists like him in the current state of where we are with hip hop? I make a lot of different types of music, but I always and I've always made hip hop beats, not always, but pretty much from the beginning. So I've always kept my eye or my ear somewhat to hip hop. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not fully aware of everything that's going on.
Right.
But I definitely know some things that are going on. I'm just curious for somebody with you, like you, who's deep into it. You know what I mean? Deep into hip hop, and a rapper and everything. Like, just where do you see artists like Lupe and like yourself in this current state where we are, where everything's very microwavable, and we got these little yachties out here and stuff that's it's. I mean,
it's weak.
Do you not pay attention to any of that?
No,
stuff?
I do. I pay attention to it, and there's a couple. See, I'm not like only this style is good to me. I'm not like that. You know what I mean? Like I like good music, period. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it doesn't always have to be super lyrical, and it doesn't always have to be super conscious.
Right.
But my favorite type of stuff happens to be the stuff that is kind of musically really good and really good lyrically and really good content wise. Like those are like my top. Like that's like tip top. That's why Lupe is on Fresh. I feel like he kind of blends the three. Makes really good music, makes really good content, and is really lyrical. Like, you know what I mean? So that's where it kind of merges. But if you're really good in either one of those, then I'm about it. But the thing is like, I really love Travis Scott. I just think he's really good musically. Like, you know what I mean? Like, musically, he's just really, he has an ear for music that is like very rare. You know what I mean? But some of them,
the one that uses like hella auto-tune?
He uses hella auto-tune, which is interesting. You know what I mean? Because I feel like he even like his concerts are in auto-tune. Like, he talks in auto-tune in his concerts. Like, I've seen him live.
Yeah.
And
no, it's always on.
It's always on, which is
on,
interesting.
On level 12.
Level
1200.
1,000. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which I don't mind auto-tune when it's done right. You know what I mean? Like Zapp and Rogers and them. You know what I mean? They were using hell auto, but it was done right. It was tight. You know what I mean? I look at it as another instrument. You know what I mean? Or another effect on your instrument. Like, if you just put some, like to make the electric guitar have that really gritty sound. That's like you're not auto-tuning, but you're adding an effect to your electric guitar that's not necessarily there. You know what I mean? Once you make it real gritty. And I look at it kind of like that. If it's done well, where I see artists like Lupe or myself, or with the advent of streaming and stuff like that, like there's always going to be a market for everything. Yeah. Just like there's a market for little little pump.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Littles, yeah.
There's a market for them because they're able to just directly access the fans. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, you know what I mean? So, like, now Lupe can directly access his fans and his career can go on. I know artists that tour, year round, who you wouldn't even know if I told you their name, but they're making a really good living.
Sure.
Just off of just going to performing all over the world, Right. So, as far as the artists that get that mainstream media spotlight, that's cyclical. Sure. So right now it's like all these Lil Wayne's grandkids is what I call them. You know what I mean? They're definitely Lil Weezy grandkids.
Yeah.
Who are like, you know what I mean? Who are like little offsprings of
him and Chief Keef offspring.
Yeah, right? It's like that kind of.
And he's an offspring of him. So
it's like right. So which is fine, and I feel like people are doing like a watered down version of Bone Thugs. You know what I mean? Right now, but I think it's cyclical. I think there's a reason why you have those artists, but then you also have like artists who are like on the top. If Kendrick releases an album tomorrow, it's number one, and he doesn't make music like that. You know what I mean? If Kanye West releases an album tomorrow, he's gonna be the number one. You know what I mean? And he doesn't make music like that. You know what I mean? J. Cole, if he releases an album tomorrow, he's gonna be number one. He doesn't make music like that. So all these people who are like kind of hot right now for a couple weeks in the hot, like they don't define what's mainstream hot. They just kind of define what's internet hot. If there's a difference,
right? No,
you know what I mean. So I think a lot of times people get I think a lot of times people get confused. Like, oh man, that's where music is going. Nah, not necessarily, because if you look at the top artists, J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake, Kanye. And I don't even really like Drake's music that much, but he doesn't make music like they make. You know what I mean? He makes music that is like traditional kind of not traditional, but like rapping I can hear what you're saying. Mm-hmm. It's not all just super turn up. It's like, you know,
tries to have
something, you know, and
or
something, yeah.
Something, that you could, I mean,
something cognizant where it's not like drug induced, you know, blubberish, blabberish.
What do they call it? Like
pill rap. It's not.
Right, with mumble rap.
Yeah, it's not mumble rap. Which mumble rap
is like an old term now.
Yeah, it's like mumble rap. I mean, and even some mumble rap is like, okay, all right, like I don't automatically dislike it because it's mumble rap. Like I said, like a lot of these guys are doing watered down stuff of what Bone Thugs was doing, and I think Bone Thugs were one of the most innovative, rare groups of artists, and I still people still can't do what they did. You know what I mean? I feel like, but the difference is like. They weren't really mumbling. They were just talking really fast.
Right. They were rapping really fast.
They were rapping really, really fast and adding harmony to their and melody to their words. Right. Whereas
I don't think these rappers aren't even doing that.
They're not doing that.
They're not even. They're rapping at like half the speed.
Half the speed, but like slurred.
Half the harmony.
Half the harmony. Harmony where?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like
half the melody.
Half the melody. You know, but like. There's a few Migos songs that I really like. Like, I really love T-Shirt by Migos. That's a really, really dope song.
Is that on Culture 1 or 2?
It's on Culture 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with Migos. I never listened to one of their albums.
I haven't listened to their whole album, but I like skim through, and like something catches my ear, I'll stop. Yeah. Like, you know, they got the new single Stir Fry, was produced by Pharrell or whatever.
I've heard about it.
Right. Yeah. It's like, you know, they're not mumble rapping, but they're not like they don't have really the content isn't really popping. Like you know, like I've been listening to music like that for a long time. Cash Money, Millionaire, they came out. No Limit and them came out in what 94, 95, 96, something like that. And I've been listening like they literally are like I can interchange the lyrics. Rolling in my whips, my rims big, my ice out the window. Like Lil Wayne was saying that back in 97. Yeah, he was like, you know, arm out the window just to show my ice. It's like, okay, I get it. Like you got ice.
We are doing you know what I mean? Repeat.
My wrist is twisting. We like okay.
Right.
You know, so I look for more content, like just the more inventive things and ways to say things. If you're gonna talk about the same thing, fine. Give me new ways to talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, I love Jadakiss because Jadakiss comes out with new ways to say the same stuff all the time. He's always dropping knowledge. But go ahead, what are you going to say?
I was going to ask you, do you think once you have, or if you do have a little bit more going on with your content as far as the lyricism, do you think that creates more of a longevity for your career?
I think it depends. Yeah. Because if you're inventive without really talking about much, then you can still have a long career. Like, you know, let me think of like a really good example of somebody who's not really talking about anything, but has had a long career. I mean, actually, Migos are having a longer career than a lot of people said that they would. Because when they came out with Versace, everybody was like, oh, it's stupid. They're going to be hot this week and gone the next. And that was in like 2013.
Yeah, I don't remember that. See, when I think of Versace, I think of a Drake song. Is that the same?
Drake, it was Migos
featuring Drake?
No, Migos featuring Drake. Yeah.
Was it really that Versace?
Wow,
yeah, that was a long time ago.
It's a long time ago, right?
Oh wow.
But they've been able to like kind of, you know, do things in different ways to where it's not getting old. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think my next question is kind of like, I mean, or something that I always felt is like, people are gonna make trash.
They are.
People always made trash.
They always have.
This is nothing new.
Nothing new.
But. And I personally don't blame the artist for making trash. Like, if people want to make trash, that's fine. Go make trash. But who I blame are the people.
It's the audience who hypes it up.
The millions of people who stream it and wake up and want to listen to it.
And be lined up outside in downtown LA to go see these people
that are just
that have 100 people on stage.
Talking about nothing.
They're talking about nothing.
You know, and
it's really crazy.
I don't want to hate on these cats, but because it's music that they love and they created, and it's fun to them. I get a lot of it is just like fun.
Yeah, it's
party music type of shit.
Which is funny because that's how hip hop started.
Right, and that's
what I mean. And it's so funny because like in SOSA we studied back. We really spent a lot of time in the inception of hip hop, you know what I mean, studying how it started and who was the pioneers and what they were talking about and dissecting their lyrics. And it's crazy because materialism and brands and you know what I mean.
Was a part of it.
Always since the Jump Street, you know what I mean, and I think why they call the hip hop golden era because I think it had matured to a point where it had started to really talk about
real shit,
real things. You know what I mean, and then it kind of just kept on going, but you know.
That's interesting. I never thought about that.
You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, I'm excited actually about where music's going because of the access that we get, and because you have to be really inventive with how you're releasing and how you're reaching your fans now. Yeah. That I'm gonna get to. I mean, like, imagine if these cats were making music, but 15 years ago, we would have no hope for like the dope up and coming guys who are talking about stuff. Because we were just being fed this, and really you didn't have any channels where you can go and just now I can go find whoever I want. I can go find some grunge rap from London if I really wanted to right now. Just pop it in 5 seconds on my phone. Boom. Whereas 15 years ago I couldn't really do that. And so if I want to find somebody who's lyrical with content and really interesting music, I can find that easily now, which is tight to me.
Interesting. I always felt like. I mean, like I said, the trash has always been there, and you'd always have to search a little bit harder to find the better stuff. You know what I mean? Right. And that's the same with it today. Like people, I mean, hip hop was trash on it. I mean, the hip hop maybe that you hear on the radio, but there's some really good stuff out there.
There's really good stuff out there. If you just literally spend 30 seconds,
right?
Who listens to the radio? What excuse do you have to listen to the radio in 2018? You're just lazy at this point. Like you really are making a conscious decision to not.
Well, when I say now, I know that's very, very true. When I say radio, I guess nowadays in today's context, I'm thinking like it's
the hot playlists.
Yeah, whatever people are talking about. Because it's all social media now. You know, fucking whoever's doing it, whoever's out here promoting people.
Think about this. What's the hottest piece of music out right now? I would say the Black Panther soundtrack. And that's Kendrick. That's Kendrick, and that's that's a lot. That's J-Rock, and that's a lot of people who aren't really talking about nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And before that, I mean, Drake is super hot right now.
Right.
His last song came out, and that's you know, and that whole song was centered around the video, which in the video was centered around doing dope stuff for the community. Right. So it's like, you know, we take the good with the bad, and there always has been. And yes, it seems like there's more of an influx because more people have access to start rapping and creating music. So it seems like there's more of an influx. Right. But I think that we're car crash people. You know what I mean? Humans. You see the car crash on the side of the road, you can't look away because it's a mess. Right. So we kind of focus on like the negative a lot. But there's so much dope music being made right now, including at justinsky.com. You know what I mean? And Mickey Fax, Camille, I've collaborated with people who have dope projects. Like Camille's project was on a lot of top 20 lists, a lot of top 10 lists for last year because it was a really dope project. And there's just, Nipsey Hussle. Yeah. You know? Right. His project is getting a lot of love right now. And it's not like, So, I think we got a good
balance.
We got a good balance, man. No pun intended. Yeah. So, I just look forward to continuing to try to make the best music I can make and try to use, honestly, a lot of these cats' promos stuff is really smart and they make trash music, but they got good promo team.
Rollouts.
Good rollouts. So I'm trying to figure out marketing, more market, because you can't get caught being like, hey, in the back of the crowd. It's like, nah, dog, you need to step your game up on the other levels. So I look forward to it, man. I look forward to it. Black Thought just shut down the internet with 9 minutes of bars. Yeah.
On was it Flex?
On Flex, It's Flex. So
that's true, man. Exactly.
So
cats have to come out and showcase was really good.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, he's a top 5 for me.
Before we get out of here, I was just about to ask you that, man. What are your top 5? If you can put a top 5 together.
So my top 5 favorite, greatest, or best?
Your not the best overall, just your personal favorite that I feel okay. That I enjoy listening. Right. So of all time or just now? All time. Yeah. So we're gonna Lupe, and this is in no order. Right. We'll do Lupe, Fiasco,
We'll do Black Thought.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna have the Notorious B.I.G.
Okay.
Busta Rhymes.
Mm.
This last one is always such a toss-up because it's really always a toss-up between Nas, Cameron, and DMX. It's like always like somewhere in those 7 or 8 people, it's always a toss-up. But we'll say favorite. I can't choose between Nas and Cam. I can't. I really, really, really enjoy listening to both of them. They're so inventive. Yeah, like, you know, Cam is so good with words. It's just ridiculous. He has such a command of speaking. So does Nas. So, you know, either one of those on any given Sunday. And then, you know, DMX is right there. You know.
DMX, man.
I really
Dogman X.
Darkman, yeah, I love that dude. And you know, you know, there's a few that are up there. You know what I mean? I really, you know, I enjoyed, you know, as far as rappers go, I really enjoy listening to Jadakiss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the king of the features.
Yeah, like, I mean, I've never heard a bad verse from Jadakiss ever. Ever on anything, and he's been rapping for 20 years. Like that's pretty impressive. You know what I mean? That's pretty impressive. Yeah. So, you know, it's a lot of cats.
Lately, I just bring this up. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about. I mean, not even lately, but I guess it's just popping lately. He's put a couple albums out. Is Royce? A lot of people go big for Royce.
Yeah, Royce is. See, now when I that's why I asked you.
A lot of people say he's better than Eminem.
He's better than Eminem. I believe so. I'm gonna go ahead and say that.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, they have. See, the funny thing is, and Royce. That's why I asked you best favorite, because if you were to say best, you know, like, Royce would definitely be in that conversation. Right. See, because Eminem and Royce, their peaks are very similar. But I just think Royce was more consistent with, you know, giving you close to his peak. I remember, like, but Eminem's peak is very hard to reach. Like that with you, like, for instance, if you had to say, okay, so we're only gonna base this on their best verse ever.
Okay.
Just give me their best verse ever. Yeah. Put that up, and so I could put Eminem up there with Royce on one of his best. Because when he came on Renegade, I mean, but Royce, I think Royce is better than Eminem for sure. Royce is Crooked Eye. You know, you talk about, like, good at rapping. Like, I think Luda's very slept on. I think Cassidy is very slept on. Even Making Facts. When you talk about rapping, Lupe's still in there. Black Thought is still in there. Nas is still in there. Right. You're talking about, I mean, Biggie is still in there for sure. Big Pun, oh my god! Like, if people go back and listen, like, Big Pun was Eminem before Eminem. Big Pun was rap, like, Eminem's whole kind of cadence and, like, flipping words in the way he does was Big Pun for sure.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if you go back and listen to this, I mean, it's, like, insane. He's, like, really good with words. And you're talking Mos Def too, especially in the beginning. These cats are wizards with the pen.
Wow.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say that I can hold my own with any of these cats. What's good?
That's what's up, man. Yeah. You gotta have the confidence. You know what I mean? At all times intact.
Yeah.
Word, man. So, where can people find you online? Justin Sky?
Just on every social media at Justin Sky _ But if you just type in Justin Sky, you'll find me. Look for the red circle. And JustinSky.com. I got the book out still too.
Oh, nice.
It's on my website, JustinSky.com.
JustinSky.com.
Yeah, /comfort. So got the book, got the music, the new music coming soon, new videos coming soon for Eden.
Sweet, man. It was fun to have you, man. I'm glad.
I appreciate you having me, bro.
Yeah,
I appreciate you having me. I rock with everything you do.
I'm sure we'll do another review sometime this year.
Absolutely. We got it. We got to do like a little chat about Annihilation too. We'll do that soon. But there's some really dope movies coming out, like, that I'm really looking forward to seeing. Like, I want to see Ready Player One.
Yeah, that looks interesting. That looks interesting.
You know what I mean? There was another preview that came on during Annihilation of Black Panther that. What was it? Jurassic Park looks tight.
That's alright.
That's another one. Like, we talked about Sicario. There's another one where I was like, yo, I got to see that.
I have a list on my fridge. You can check out.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah, there's some dope ones coming out. So we'll see.
Cool, man. Well, thank you guys for watching. You guys can check me out on my YouTube at Roshay Reviews, or follow me on Twitter or Instagram at DJ Roshay. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.